Alrighty, guys. Everybody good? Is there any echoes or anything?
Nah, I'm
Actually, I
good.
don't
I
hear
don't
I
hear
don't
none.
hear one for once. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Just making sure. What up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. We were waiting for some people to join. Still waiting for some people to join, but we thought we at least start before we get into the discussions and everything. Today we're gonna be doing one of the little ultimate wrestling debates that we used to do on the PC channel for the people who watch the PC channel when we're on PC. It's going to be the same thing. Same concept we're going to bring over here today. But before we start, we'll kind of, I guess, dive into some other conversations before everybody else joins, just to kind of get people's thoughts and, everything that's going on right now. So, should we start with, well, yeah, I guess we have to start with Jade because, Dolph Ziggler's everywhere nowadays, so.
Man, Nick Nemeth is gonna force me to broaden my horizons, man. He's super kicking zombies and throwing back whiskey on New Japan. He's coming face to face with the world champion on TNA. I don't know that since AEW showed up a little over 4 years ago. I don't think the wrestling universe, the Twitter sphere, if you will, has ever been more electric. There's wrestlers going all over the place. Naomi's probably about to pop up in WWE. We're sitting around waiting to see where Sasha's going to go. Samoa Joe's making waves finally. Dolph Ziggler's popping up everywhere. It's just you got The Rock, you got CM Punk. Adverse to what I think of CM Punk, I'm not going to deny his impact on wrestling. It's just such an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, man. It's such a cool time to watch wrestling. Oh, so cool.
So you gonna start watching TNA and stuff now? I mean,
I'm gonna have to, man. If listen, I am a Dolph Ziggler guy through and through. If Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler, is gonna be an every week thing on TNA, then yeah, I'm gonna be watching TNA every week. And every time he wrestles on New Japan, I'm gonna be right there. However, I need to watch that. I got to do a little bit of research because I still, to this day, have no idea how anybody watches New Japan anymore. But I'm gonna find out. Yeah,
Well, legally
absolutely.
anyway.
I'm a TNA fanboy now for sure.
Nah, but shout out TNA, man. Like, obviously,
Making waves.
there's a lot of people who watch TNA in its peak. I am not one of those people. The only resemblance of TNA I remember was Hulk Hogan when it was on Spike. That's the only TNA I remember. I didn't get to go.
no, TNA was good when Hogan was there for a little bit because he did the Aces and Eight stuff when he was there. But after AJ Styles left, that's kind of when it kind of started to fade out. Last night was the highest attendance TNA's had in 8 years, so I think that tells you a lot right there, just off the bat.
They got so the TNA to me is what AEW should be as far as quality wise. But AEW has the bigger names, of course. So AEW is going to get more of the views. But as far as quality, week-to-week television, that's what AEW should strive to be. TNA, because let's be real, I'm not gonna hold y'all and say I was keeping up, but week-to-week TV shows you see on social media and stuff, they tell consistent stories. There was a period where TNA had the best women's division, other than NXT, in the world. There was a period where their mid card was the best in the world, and their tag team, it might not have been the best, but it was definitely up there. You know what I mean? Like they've been consistent. Even though there might not be, the biggest stars, all of them feel credible. Like when I tune into TNA, I'm like, okay, Deanna, I know she's a star. Jordan, I know she's a star. Naomi's done great wonders for them. I mean, even that little what was it, a fatal 4-way for or a 6-woman thing for the number 1 contender? All of them were presented well. Let's be real. One of Nate's ops, shout out Oos. One of Nate's ops is probably going to have the best career resurgence.
I want to talk about that.
Like, you know what I mean? So
What's
I
up,
feel like
Nate?
TNA is definitely.
What's up? How you doing, bro?
Fuck you. Fuck you, nigga.
What's up, Nate?
First Dolph, then Dana, bro. That's crazy, man.
I don't want to hear this shit, bro.
Listen, me and Nate can come together on Dana Brooke or whatever.
Yes.
Ash in elegant fucking $5 ball gown, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
They can. You can put as much makeup you want on a pig. I still ain't gonna watch that pig wrestle. I don't care. I don't care. Not interested. Not down.
Now she starts cooking in TNA. I'm gonna owe her an apology, bro. I'm
The
telling you.
only thing she's gonna cook up is some meat platters in the catering.
All right, you say
Hey,
that now.
nothing coming out of Dana Brooke.
Well, Jay, did you apologize to Nia
It's
Jax?
crazy.
What's that?
Did you apologize to Nia Jax that she's been cooking in this little
yet.
run?
Apologize. Nia Jax ain't been cooking nothing.
And so that's my
If
point.
I
If
was
he
in
ain't
there
gonna
with Becky Lynch,
apologize
I'd be
to
having
Nia
good
Jax,
matches too.
if he ain't gonna apologize to Nia Jax, who's actually been doing pretty good work since she got back, ain't nobody
Better
worried
than
about
Dana.
no Dana Brooke. Ash by
Eat your
elegance.
words.
Like, come on, we ain't worried.
$5 timeless Tony, bro. Like, worry about
Yo, that's crazy.
Seriously.
That's
Seriously.
it's
How much
really
We're not
would
worried.
this count?
It's really a $2. It's
$2.
really a $2. Hey, but Nate, I'm glad you're here because you're one of the people I need to address this. As well.
Nia
Why
Jax
is
is
it every
cooking.
time Menace comes on, we end up talking about Dana Brooke?
Hey, I love Dana Brooke slander. I love me some Dana Brooke slander. I've never once.
I thought you said I love Dana Brooke. I was about to say.
Don't remember that.
Yeah,
y'all gonna owe her.
yeah.
Y'all gonna owe her an apology. She start cooking. I'm just saying, bro. She start cooking.
Man,
She
ain't
gonna
no
need an
worries
apology.
about that.
NWA Power looking real nice
I'm
right
just
now.
She
gonna
gonna
say
need an
real
apology.
quick,
She gonna go worldwide too. She gonna go to NWA. She gonna go everywhere.
If Dana Brooke
If Dana Brooke ends up in New Japan, bro,
if Dana Brooke ended up cooking in TNA when she had 7-8 years to show that she can cook in WWE, she don't
Man,
need to
she
come
couldn't
back.
cook, bro.
Respect.
She's the ultimate troll. If she was doing that shit on purpose for 8 years, she's the ultimate troll.
the most recognition Dana Brooke ever got was when she was flirting with Batista on Twitter. That's
right.
That's the
Oh,
most.
I
That's the
forgot
most.
about that.
That's the most entertaining thing she
Oh, I
ever
forgot
did.
about
It went
that.
nowhere.
I forgot about
But Nate,
I sure forgot about that.
Nate, Malik, before we get into this Ultimate Wrestling debate, I know Jade is on my side with this. Menace, you might be. I'm not sure. So it's been a crazy week of wrestling. Something else that happened this week. Oba Femi is the new North American champion, right?
Yes,
Great
sir.
decision. Love the way he
Hell
cashed
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah.
That is who y'all want Omos to be. Y'all want him to be Oba Femi. Oba Femi is what
It could be.
everybody swears Omos is. And the difference between Omos and Oba Femi,
booking.
even as a big guy, can actually move in the ring. I think, and this is something that we in the Discord and other people that I talk to, there's a big debate we had. In today's world of being a big man, you cannot be a big man if you can't move in the ring. Nobody cares about you. We even though we can criticize what we want about AEW, almost all of their big men can move. Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, they all got some agility to them. I mean, why you think we love Keith Lee so much? Big man doing Spanish flies, Dijak or whatever. Big man who can do all the agile stuff. And I'm not even saying he ought to be flying over the top rope, but Oba Femi, who I think is still a little raw, but you can tell, okay, he can move a little bit. He do all the power spots, but it don't look like his knees crack every time he walked more than 5 steps. Omos, unfortunately, has none of that. And in the world where, pretty much being a limited guy isn't what you need, Omos is the ultimate limited guy because he can't cut a promo, but hey, I guess MVP is supposed to fix that, right? Can't cut a promo, can't wrestle in the ring like that for real. Even his power moves are like, you know what I mean? I don't think like the fact I know it started off as a joke, but I think somewhere in this joke, y'all genuinely believed y'all wanted to see Omos be this star. No, it's Oba Femi. We need to get off this Homo sapien wave and ride the Oba Femi wave.
G's been saying what I've been thinking for the past year. At some point, the meme became reality, and I don't know when that happened.
At some point, the joke that we had, because I think we all were like, man, this Omos guy kind of mid. But then it was like, you know what? Nah, Homo sapiens rise. And then that joke kind of lasted a little bit, and then it just became, Trent, shout out Trent, one of my guys. He used to hate Omos. He started listening to y'all. All of a sudden, he trying to, man, I want to see Omos get an opportunity. The same guy who hates on Shinsuke and Samoa Joe and Finn Balor because, they're in-ring merchants. Hey, time to pack them up. All they do is lose. But he want to see Omos get an opportunity. People want to see Omos. We was calling Finn Balor Pin Balor. Oh, man. We were saying pack it up. For a year, y'all were hating on me with Samoa Joe. Like, nah, that's dead. That's not doing it. But we want to see Omos. I don't know. Oba Femi, if we want to switch from Omos to Oba Femi, hey, I'm with that. Because that guy actually can do something.
So what it all comes down to is booking, right?
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's not the only thing, because he also can't work.
No, because
You
Omos
act like he can't move.
Omos has had good matches, so he can work.
You act like you haven't seen this man move. Have you seen this man on the treadmill, bro? Have you seen him? Have you seen him run the ropes?
If Omos
can run, Omos can move for a dude that's what is he 7'4", whatever he is, 7'3". He can move. He moves way better than the Great Khali.
Yes, he can. I'm not calling him the Great Khali. Because we know what that.
Well, Great Khali was the same size as him. But Omos can move 10 times better than Great Khali. Yeah, but he can actually move.
With respect, that's the argument every Homo sapien always goes to when people start insulting Omos. Well, he's so much better than Great Khali. Yeah, so's a wet paper towel. Who gives a shit?
Because he's not seven. He's not seven. Not everybody is 7'1", 7'2". Oba is like what 6'6", if that.
There's no way Oba's 6'6". I refuse to believe that.
However, he's not 7 foot tall.
He might not be a true 7 foot. I'm not gonna lie. If Oba is 6'6", okay, fine. He doesn't. I don't know how tall he is. The way they present him on screen, he don't look 6'6" at all.
He's 6'6", 6'7", maybe 6'8". You know, somewhere.
He's not 7 foot tall.
Somewhere around. Gosh, on here it says he's 6'4". Oh my god. Okay. Well, then I guess they're not in the same class. Probably. I thought he was 6'10".
He's just big. He big.
Oh no,
he's like Wardlow. He like Wardlow. Wardlow and
he's a big guy muscular wise. He's a big guy. To me, it's not about. I don't care what Omos can do in the ring. Y'all have too many expectations when it comes to him having a good match and everything. He needs an opportunity because nobody looks like him on the roster. They have an opportunity to make him something. Nobody looks like this guy on the roster. All they have to do is make him credible. If he had credible wins, he'd be credible. That's all he needs is credible wins.
Now, and just to be fair, I've said the exact same thing that when we had Backlash last year, I said the exact same thing, right? So I'm on Malik's boat as far as that is concerned. I just think I feel like the more we get disappointed with Omos, the greater all of y'all's expectations become. Like it's
only disappointing because he doesn't have credible wins. They're building up Oba Femi good because he's getting pushed in NXT as credible. My
point has always been though, even if you book him perfectly, because of his physical limitations, he's only going to be so much. He's never going to be a main event attraction because of his physical limitations. But I've always said, like you said, Malik, his size. And like I've been consistent about too, his personality. He's got a great personality. Yes. If they would let that come out on TV, maybe I could care about Omos. But I'm done with this big brooding, and then he goes out and loses every big match that he's in. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, and I don't even really hate Omos like that. I hate how much, like we've said, the meme has become reality and how much y'all genuinely want to see him push. Because I think of other dudes that y'all have said, get him off my screen, pack him up, who are way more talented, way more credible, and much more of an enjoyance on the screen. And y'all
don't talk about the title like that.
Hold on, but the difference is those guys have had their opportunities. The time's passed, bro. Finn Balor's his time done passed, bro. They done had opportunities to pull the trigger with that man. It's over with, bro.
But did they not have opportunities to pull the trigger with Omos? And again, Omos was big under Vince. So, but Vince didn't even pull the trigger.
How long has Finn Balor been around compared to Omos? Finn Balor been around
in WWE.
How many world title matches has Omos had? How many world title matches has Omos had?
Finn Balor been around for years. Finn Balor been around for a while. He had a great NXT career. Went back to NXT and had another great career. And came up to the main roster and still couldn't touch the world title.
Even if he got some big wins, he's never going to be a world title guy because of his physical limitations. That's what I'm saying. The expectations are so high with everyone for Omos that he's never going to be able to clear them. That's my problem. No matter how well he's booked, he's never going to be able to clear the bar that everyone online seems to be setting for him.
Well, if Omos wins the world title, it'll be the same as the Jinder Mahal run. I'm not going to hold you.
The only thing is though,
world title.
Hold on. The only thing is though, for the people who you're talking about, the internet people, they're not the bookers. They don't matter what they say. It only matters what the people behind the scenes say, what Triple H and all those people say. If they see the potential in him to be the world champion, then he's going to be the world champion, despite how people feel about it. It's just
they also need to get classes.
And then with that said, I don't think Triple H sees the potential in Omos because he ain't been on TV since.
Yeah, I mean, he might not see the potential.
Not married, right? He had his wedding and stuff. So that, but still,
he's just doing the super shows.
After Mania.
He's just doing the house shows.
I think they're trying to figure out how to repackage him because all his credible wins, like I said, all the people that he faced were credible. He lost to those people. So how can you make somebody believe somebody is dominant enough if they keep losing all their big matches? That's an issue. That's like the same. It's the same thing they did with Braun Strowman. They built him up credible, but every time he needed to win the big match, he didn't win it. So it made his steam die down, and it made people stop caring about him. And by the time he finally became the champion, nobody cared because it was too late.
Don't you think what you just said? Don't you think that can apply to Omos right now? If they decide to finally do something with him, people other than the mean people, like real talk, the general consensus is not gonna care because you could have been.
How do you know that? How you know that?
How long has Omos been here? He's been here for like 4 or 5 years.
And how many times has he been on TV compared to Finn Balor, compared to Shinsuke Nakamura?
He hasn't been on TV for the past couple of months, that for sure.
Exactly. So you can't say if they actually gave him a chance. If they
on TV for like 4 years because he was doing the stuff with AJ, he had the Bobby feud. What did he do? But he was on that. Wasn't he on like Raw Underground or something like that? That was like 18, 19 before the pandemic happened. Like
he was the bodyguard.
That was the pandemic. That was the pandemic.
Oh, that was the pandemic. Oh, dang.
He debuted at WrestleMania 37, and he did the stuff with AJ, and he did the stuff with MVP. After that MVP stuff, they just stopped using him.
I think the problem for me is like I've noticed a lot of people just don't care about like the day and age of like the big, tall, like swole man wrestling no more. So like when we saw Braun Strowman, like the first one that kind of was like that generation Big Show type figure, it felt different because it was a while since we seen something like him, and since we seen that straight failure that was Braun Strowman, at least people to be like, okay, if y'all had someone like Braun Strowman, who y'all literally had running this division left and right, ransacking people every time he was in this ring, just for him to just not get nothing in return. What am I supposed to believe with Omos?
Right.
Like someone that has even more of like a physical presence to his name. How am I going to believe this is going to go the right direction when you have someone that was literally bigger than Brock Lesnar at the time? He didn't get nothing in return when he was at the peak of his career. So I think
he's one of the few people that won that Roman Reigns feud. He's one of the few people that won a Roman Reigns feud. Like
this is what I just asked from Omos. All he needs is credibility. I'm not saying he has to be a champion or something like that. He has potential to be a dominant force on the roster
and a character
because he's bigger than everybody else. What he needs is just that feeling of when he comes out, he needs you to give that shit. Like when Brock Lesnar comes out, he has that aura where you feel like he gonna kill somebody. That's all Omos needs, bro. When his music hits, people need to just believe that he can just destroy people. It's the same thing with Braun Strowman, with all these big guys. That's all he needs. He doesn't need to be around much. He doesn't need to be a world champion. He just needs that feeling of when his music hits, you're not like, oh well, here comes Omos. Like when his music hits, you need to be like, oh shit. Come on, Omos, like something might go down, you know, like he might
like how the Great Khali was when the Great Khali first started.
Yeah, because when Khali first showed up, when he first arrived and he was beating up Undertaker, like we didn't know who he was, so we were like, bro, who is this man? Like, who is this man right here, bro? Like, he's bigger than everybody on the roster, and he's beating people up. Now, over time, obviously, you realize he was booty, but when he had first arrived, like when he had first debuted, bro, and
he was like, oh shit.
When he first came out and beat up Undertaker, bro, like he came out with no music and he was with Davari. I'm like, bro, who the fuck is this guy, bro? Like, and he got in the ring. I'm like, bro, this dude is big as shit. Like, who is this man? Like, he needs that he needs that Kane type feeling. Like when Kane first came around, music hit. You just like, oh shit, Kane about to come out and kill somebody. You don't know who it is, but Kane about to kill somebody. That's all he needs, bro. They need they just need to give him credible wins to make him feel that way.
So then this will be my final thing I'll say about Omos then. Because there a point was brought up to me a couple days ago that I can kind of get behind. With the track record that this man has,
right?
Send him to NXT.
Because
that's his last saving grace. That's his last saving grace. Because main roster, I'll give you a perfect example. Von Wagner. Took him a minute, but he finally has something that I'm like, okay.
And you know what they will give Omos in NXT? You know what they'll give him? A fucking character. I actually give him a chance to be a character, and that's what he.
And that I will gladly. I am willing because look, even though Dana Brooke, you can pack her up. Somebody also didn't care about Baron Corbin. The second he got to NXT, I was like, okay, I'm with this now. let's do it.
NXT
And
can make anybody work, bro. Like they're already talking about. Oba Femi already has that feeling where he has that dominance feel. He'd been on TV for about a month. At that, so he already got that type of feeling, bro.
He's had like 3 matches.
So they can make anything work in NXT. They send it back to NXT. Great. He don't even got to be the champion in NXT. All he got to do is just be the guy that just destroys people, and you can believe like when he comes out, I don't know who can beat that guy. That's the same problem they had with the big guys, like talking about like Big Show and all that stuff. Like they would build up Big Show, and he would feel dominant, and then he'd lose to everybody. You know what I mean? So it people stopped caring about him because you knew he would lose every big match that he was in. So people were like, all right, well, you know, Big Show not winning this match. You know, he tapping out to Cena, and he getting beat by Brock. You know what I mean? So it's like, we know he's losing. All they need to do is just make him feel credible enough where his presence feels important. You know what I mean? Like his presence means something. Like I said, when a Brock Lesnar comes out, bro, at this stage, bro, it feels different. He got that presence. You know what I mean? Like that music hits. You don't know whether Brock gonna be nice or not. You don't know what's gonna happen. You feel me? Because it's Brock, so he got that aura to him. That's all they gotta do with Omos. You know what I mean? He just gotta have that type of aura to him. Certain people have that special type of aura. You know, they're talking about Roman Reigns right now. He got that type of aura. When he comes out, it's that final boss, what they call that type of aura. You know what I mean? Like
the final boss energy.
Yeah, he just needs that type of aura where he just means something. Maybe going back to NXT could help the man. Honestly, I mean, going down to NXT with MVP. I mean, there's a lot of people
I would tolerate more than anything because they have shown the ability to reinvigorate careers, whether for people who suck or what.
Omos with the kids, bro. Shout out Omos with the kids, man. Yes, sir. But look at this man. Look at this man in the suit. Man, stop playing with me.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound so bad.
Inspiration.
This is gonna sound so bad. But I feel like after that video, you know what just popped in my head as soon as I saw that video? He's gonna be the new Titus O'Neil. Which is not a bad thing. Which is not a bad thing, like for the kids.
You know what's crazy?
Because Titus does great work for WWE. But
what's crazy, bro, is he can pull that shit off. That's crazy. Yeah. He could actually pull it off.
Yeah, he could.
He really could, though.
What y'all Omos to be?
That ain't what I want Omos to be. I don't Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil. No sir.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into this debate. So I guess we'll have to make teams. I guess if you want, we can just do the teams up here, top and the bottom. If you guys just want to do that, unless you guys want to pick your partners or something, because
if Lewis or Axel happen to randomly show up, I got a guy that might be able to come on.
Lewis for sure ain't coming. He already told me he wasn't gonna be available. So and Axe ain't responding. So we can just do us. If you guys want, we can spin the wheel again of teams, or you can pick your partners. However you want to do it. It doesn't matter.
Hey, whoever my partner was before, I'm good.
Your partner was G. G was one of your partners. Yeah.
I feel like Team Coexist down here. The Dolph Ziggler op and the Dolph Ziggler.
I was gonna say, you want to reunite Team Coexist? You want to do that again?
Well, if you want to go with partners, G and
I don't.
And Jay were on the same team originally.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good with it.
I'm cool with this. This right here. I'm cool with this.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
All right. So we'll spin the wheel. I'll just do team 1, team 2. Nate will be team 2. Jay will be team 1. And then we got a little bit different rules here too. So we'll switch it up and make it a little bit different.
Ooh, different rules. I like that.
Ah, shit.
Menace, I'll explain everything too, just so you kind of have an idea of what is going on.
When was World's End? That was December 30th, right?
Yeah.
So it's been 50 days since the title. We your world champion. Love to see it. It's been the best 15 days of my life.
All right, team 2 won the wheel. So what we'll do is for team 2, first category I'll pull up. You have the option though. You can either decide to go first, or you can pick the category, or you can let the other team go first. So you can either pick the category, and if you pick the category, you'll get to go first in that category, or you can let the other team go first, and they'll get to pick the category.
Okay, so any category. We choose any category.
Anyone but besides the
last one.
Yeah, the last one is gonna be the final talk. So actually, no. If you pick the category, they'll get to go first. I'm sorry. So if you pick the category, you say like you want this category, you be like, this is the category, and they'll have to debate first. So
Okay.
Oh, okay. So kind of like how NFL coin toss works. You can either defer your decision,
and then I'll switch it up after whoever wins the first one. I'll explain how it'll be after that. So
okay, got you.
Since Nate's team won, he can either decide to go first, and you guys will pick the category. So if he wants to go first, he'll be like, "We're gonna go first," and then G, you guys will pick whatever category they'll debate, or Nate will pick the category for you guys, and then.
Yeah, I got you.
So the categories to run down, Menace. Basically, how this works, Menace, is there's gonna be 5 topics, and you and your partner are gonna have to convince me whatever topic you have of why your topic is right, even if you disagree with that topic. You may not agree with it, but the whole purpose is you have to debate it, no matter whether it's right or not. So, for example, if it was like, who's the GOAT between The Rock and Stone Cold? If you believe Stone Cold is the GOAT, but you have The Rock, you have to defend The Rock, even if you don't believe it. So it's something you have to do. It's basically just to test people's knowledge, see whether people can be non-biased or not. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, for sure, I got you.
So the categories today, I'll put them up here for everybody watching. The categories is who's had a better WWE career between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. That's one of the categories right here, as you can see on the screen. So who's had a better WWE career between the two? We have who was hated more between Super Cena and Big Dog Roman by the fans. Who was the more hated, Super Cena or Big Dog Roman? We have which match, what was the more heartbreaking loss? Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle or Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? They both lost to Roman Reigns. What match was the more what match was the more heartbreaking loss for Drew or Cody? And then this one I think will be fun too. Out of the 2 matches, what trilogy of matches or 2 matches were the better matches? Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at WrestleMania, or Undertaker and Triple H at the 2 WrestleManias? What matches were the better matches? Not like what individual match, like the 2 matches combined. Undertaker had 2 matches with Shawn Michaels. He had 2 matches with Undertaker. What 2 matches were the better 2 matches? And then the last category we'll dive into once we get into that category. And then you'll have 5 minutes to debate as well, so you get 5 minutes to talk. So Nate, you want the first? You want to go first, or you want to pick the category?
Let's go first. All
right, they're gonna go first. Nate, G and Jade. You guys can pick the first category. What are you feeling?
I'll let you pick the since I mean I think we go regardless. But I'll let you pick the category you want to go in.
I feel like I'm trying to think of the ones that I want to try and get a specific side on. So I feel like it's easier to argue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like one of the easier ones I think is going to be probably better WWE career Lesnar versus Orton. So let's go with that one.
Okay, bet.
All right, Nate and Menace, you guys can decide who you guys want to pick, Orton or Lesnar, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Bet. Menace, you got Telegram or Instagram or something, so I can text you?
Yeah, I got Telegram.
Bet. Okay.
And then the way we'll do it, as I'll explain it, whoever wins the round will have the same option, but it'll be different. You'll get to pick the category the next person picks. So like if Nate's team were to win, say the next round he says we're gonna do the Cody and Drew, and the team up top is gonna have to defend Drew. Like they're gonna have to pick who you're gonna have to defend, or who you're gonna have to.
Okay. All right. What's your Telegram?
Yeah, I got you right here.
So we'll dive, and this is all just personal preferences, personal, opinions of how they're going to debate. They're going to try to convince me of what's right. So the first one we're doing is, I'll show again, we're doing who's had the better WWE career between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. You guys better come with those receipts, bro.
It's just my whole
what's
name.
the time limit per team per topic?
Same 5 minutes.
Same.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys are done before then you don't have to go the whole 5 minutes. But
shout out to the chat one time, and then also too, if that is true, I don't know for sure, but if that is true, prayers up for Raquel.
Yeah. What is it, Menace?
It's my name, ELIJAH. And then last name,
she has a face
CUL,
thing. She has like
DELT.
she has some type of eczema thing.
Yeah, it's the
like,
skin condition.
Yeah.
What's your spell your last name again?
CUL, DELT.
BERT.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, while
I mean,
we're waiting, I have some funny clips down here that we can show.
This nigga.
That I've made some more funny clips.
W.
Let's see. Which one we want to do today? Which one do we want to do? I know how we're gonna end off the show, so we'll have to wait.
Of course.
No, look me up. Look me up.
You guys
Mine
want a
is
fun-
Nate the Great 248. Just look me up real quick.
You guys want to?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, BK. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I am not going to comment.
You can if you want. I ain't gonna tell you what to do, bro. I mean, if you want to, you
like,
can.
You can. You have the free will to.
Yeah,
You can if you want.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I mean, the basketball and football. The basketball and football will still be over there. So if you like that,
Yeah.
stuff,
So if you want to go watch football and basketball stuff, please.
you guys want to see a funny clip, or you want to wait till the end?
No. I'm with you. Let's get it.
Let's see what we got up here. Let's do this one.
A bunch of women and see if they would be okay with their man having a sex scene.
Well, maybe I'm not with the right woman.
Well, good. I'm happy it's not me.
No, I know.
Kind of. I want to be number 2.
You're not even on the list.
That's crazy.
John Cena was such a menace on that show, dude.
Jeez.
He's such a menace.
I'm not gonna lie. They should have just took advantage of John Cena and turned him heel after that.
Exactly.
Just turned him heel, bro.
Not for real.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. A John Cena heel run, especially like in peak. I'm not like what Roman. I think Roman's obviously was necessary. But like, if we would have got a heel Cena run, bro, that would have like, even though I already have him as the GOAT, that would have been like almost as crazy as when Hulk Hogan first turned heel, bro. Like, I think that's how.
You find me,
crazy
Menace? You find me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, just DM me.
Hello, my name is Eugene. He just ran back and
Can't do that.
DM me what? DM me who you want to defend, bro. I don't know what Malik is playing.
Hey, we got a bunch of stuff, bro. We got a bunch of stuff on
He's
here.
it.
Oh, and while we're waiting, shout out El Paso, Texas legend Aaron Jones, hometown. Please beat the Cowboys today, please. Shout out to
I ain't got nothing.
This man from Texas and he hit the Cowboys. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't root for any Texas teams actually. Like,
No,
You know, if you guys can't find each other, we're just gonna take the one you guys don't pick, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, not a big deal. Not a big deal.
If you guys
You can
can't,
keep working on it during our turn.
if you guys can't find each other, you can just talk up here and just be like, we're taking.
Yeah, just pick. I mean, we're going whoever you don't pick. So.
Okay.
I mean, we can do Randy Orton. That's all I'm in.
That's fine with me. I can
All right. We have Randy Orton. You guys ready?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, time starting.
All right, man. You want to go first? You pick Randy. I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, while Randy had the better career than Brock Lesnar.
Yes, sir.
Well, just I'll start. You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton has more individual accomplishments. He's won, I think he's a 15-time world champion. I believe he's a 2-time Intercontinental champion, a 1-time United States champion, and he's I want to say a 5-time tag team champion. So individual accomplishments, he literally has Hall of Fame GOAT status accomplishments right there. And then off rip, he's part of one of arguably the greatest faction of all time, Evolution. Has some of the most iconic, memorable, feuds. John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. You had a great feud with Chris Jericho back in the day. Many, many others. And then great, obviously, has iconic great matches. He's one of the most consistent in-ring performers, I think, of all time. Longevity is one thing that, I don't want to use LeBron, but people use, longevity for the GOAT debate for LeBron. And I think you can apply that same, context to Randy Orton, because the man has really never had anything less than like maybe a low B level year. Even whenever Randy Orton is like clearly not at his peak, he's still always at a high level. And he's still always at that point where you like, Randy Orton can go out there, Randy Orton can put on the show. And he's never really not been in that level. And especially coming back now, the man is arguably in the best shape of his entire career. And he always has that mentality of like that makes you feel he can be number one. He always goes out there and puts on great matches, let you know, yeah, he could always have another great world title run. And I think just individually, what he's done in WWE is better than what Brock Lesnar has done in WWE. And that's by no means taking anything away from the credibility of Brock Lesnar at all. But I do think just what Randy has brought to WWE and just the legacy that he has, I think that's better than what Brock Lesnar has done.
Yeah, I mean, I like that comparison to LeBron. I mean, he's still all these years later, 20 plus years later, he's still going. He's still at the top of his game. He's got the accomplishments. He's won everything but the King of the Ring. He's got everything under his belt: Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, World Titles, Grand Slam champion. He was under the learning tree of Ric Flair and Triple H. Iconic feuds with The Undertaker, John Cena, Edge, Chris Jericho. I mean, you name them. I mean, it's a who's who of people that Randy Orton has feuded with. And Randy, I mean, he's never had to go the part-time route to feel special. I mean, he's Randy Orton. That's the name. The name itself brings value. He's been there day in, day out. Even with this comeback, he's still there. He's not pulling the part-timer card. He's still there showing up week to week. He can still put on a banger whenever he wants. He's a safe worker, but somehow a lot of people want to call Randy boring, but he's just very safe. And even if you think he's boring, he still has an excellent category of matches that you can choose from of bangers. Even within the past 5 years, he can work with literally anybody. You put him in there with an AJ Styles, he'll work. You put him in there with Batista, he'll work. You put him there with John Cena, he'll work. Put him there with Rey Mysterio, he'll work. He can work with literally anybody, make anybody look good, protects everybody at all costs. And Randy's just that guy. And I mean, we already said it, the accomplishments. He's got the credibility. He's got the in-ring work. He's got the longevity. And he didn't have to leave. He didn't have to leave, come back, be a part-timer to make himself feel special. I mean,
you guys have 1 minute left. You want to pass it or keep going?
No, it's Randy. So yeah, and that match for Foley. So there you go. Boom. That's it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Match for
Go ahead,
Foley.
Jade. I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a great list of accomplishments that you listed for Randy Orton. The problem is Brock Lesnar is going to match those accomplishments step for step. Literally, as you go up the list, 2-time Royal Rumble winner both, Money in the Bank winner both, 10-time world champion, maybe not a 15-time world champion, but we'll get to that in a minute. You mentioned that Randy Orton didn't win King of the Ring. Funny thing, because Brock Lesnar did. And then you throw in two things that Randy Orton does not have, and at this point his career cannot have. 5 WrestleMania main events. 5 times Brock Lesnar has been the headline attraction at WrestleMania. Dethroned The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And the problem when you stack anybody else against Brock Lesnar and you start comparing accomplishments is that it's kind of like when you start talking about like a board game and you say, hey, I want to cash this chip in and it's going to be worth 10 points or whatever. I don't think you can measure when it comes to this argument how many points ending the streak is really worth. Guys, it's easy to forget now because it's been 10 years, which is freaking nuts that it's been 10 years since the streak ended. But if you guys remember the feeling watching that WrestleMania live, I sat in that spot on my couch and did not move and felt like did not breathe for a period of about 5 minutes because I could not believe what was going on. Brock Lesnar ending the streak was one of the most unexpected and one of the most career-altering booking decisions I've ever seen in my entire life. Because the Brock Lesnar that went on for the next 10 years after the streak was not the same Brock Lesnar that started in WWE and was not the same Brock Lesnar that had been in WWE for 2 years before that. And then just to acknowledge the part-time thing. Brock Lesnar went part-time because he could. Because he's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar left WWE the first time because he had already done almost everything you could do in WWE, and he wanted to go kick some ass in UFC. And now Brock Lesnar is a part-timer, you're right, but every time he comes back, man, you talk about that jumping and jiving and that music hits and, oh shit, something's about to go down. That's Brock Lesnar. So yeah, Brock Lesnar, 5-time WrestleMania main event, dethroned The Undertaker, I think that easily makes up for the 5 world titles that he's missing when you're comparing him to Randy Orton. Go ahead, G.
And just to piggyback off of that, again, this is nothing to take away from Randy Orton because I believe Randy Orton is top 5 all time, in my personal opinion. However, when it comes to Brock Lesnar, the reason why I think I have Randy top 5 all time because I like his character more and what he was able to do with that. But when we talk careers, we talk about not only the accomplishments, but what you did while you was there. For me, I think Brock Lesnar, first off, when we talk about came out with a bang. I don't remember exactly how many months it was before he won that world title after he debuted, but you could argue it's one of the best rookie years WWE superstars had out the rip, right? Yes, he did leave, but he left and he was already special when he did. When he came back, to Jay's point, how he mentioned earlier, he was there 2 years before he broke that streak, and he still felt special. He had the feuds with Cena, the feuds with Triple H. You know what I mean? He still felt like a major attraction. Then when he did beat that streak, not only did he beat that streak, he then took out Super Cena in the most dominant fashion we've ever seen Cena get taken out. And that just elevated him to a stock even higher than we thought possible because, again, you not only end a streak that, let's be real, 4 years before, we did not think, or I'm sorry, not 4 years before, 2 years before, a year before, we thought he was going to retire undefeated. We didn't think he was going to be Brock. And then sure enough, the moment that you take that away and then he goes on and destroys Super Cena, the whole 16 German suplexing when Cena's still at the top of his, main event consistent presence run, crazy. I think that is kind of what makes up, because Randy has the consistency. Don't disagree with that. Randy has always been a consistent main event presence, world title presence, all that. But I think those extra highs, those peaks that Brock Lesnar had, along with the accomplishments and everything else, I think just slightly put his career above Randy's because of that. Again, because of the weight of those moments.
You guys have 17 seconds. You guys want to anything else?
I will just close out by saying I think Randy Orton would be successful in any era that he wrestles in. But he, just like a lot of other guys, I think his impact could have been a lot more if he hadn't wrestled at the same time as Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is just such a big star. He just takes so much energy when he's out there. Brock Lesnar, it's unspeakable how much of an impact he's had on the company.
All right, I'll let you guys rebuttal if you guys want. Nate and Menace, you guys have some rebuttals you want to point out?
Yeah, man, I will say for Randy, right, for Brock and Randy, you talk about that, oh, shit, presence that Brock has, right? I will say that's great, but Randy's had that consistently. He never had to go anywhere, and he never had to break a streak. He never had to do this, that, and that. He just had to be Randy Orton. People show up, oh, shit, Randy Orton, someone's getting RKO. Randy Orton has had like I said, we talk about the consistency of Randy's career. And people mess with Randy Orton. People put him at the top of the GOAT debate. And him and Brock do have similar accomplishments. Yes, Brock has the streak. But I would say Randy, again, has been more consistent name, a more main event level name. And he never had to leave to up his name even more. He's been with WWE. He stays WWE. He's a WWE lifer. And he's going to continue to be a main eventer regardless of who is coming in or out of the company.
Menace, you got anything you want to say?
And yeah, I'll give a quick little rebuttal. And I for sure, I do agree with what y'all saying with how, the streak, it did boost the credibility of Brock Lesnar, because at that time, we didn't think Brock Lesnar was going to win, but when he won, it was like, well, damn. It just brought a whole new aura to his name. But I will say that because of Randy, the feud that Randy had with Taker, that brought the whole importance of the streak to light for us to even have conversations leading towards the possibility of maybe the streak can get beat later on, or maybe he might retire with going undefeated. And I'm not by any means saying it was because of Randy, but Randy Orton really brought that to light. He brought the importance of what the streak was and the importance that someone could actually beat this man and go into WrestleMania. It was because of how good Randy Orton was and the character that Randy Orton brought to The Undertaker. And I feel like if you don't have a guy like Randy Orton at that time to specifically be that type of, just sleazy asshole to Taker, then by no means, I'm not saying this is going to be true, but I don't think that the streak would have had as much light brought onto it as it was with that feud with Randy Orton.
And I also will say, Brock has, we talk about the streak, amazing moments. I think Randy actually has more great moments in WWE than Brock Lesnar, just simply because of the fact he's always been around in all eras too. You talk about him DDTing Stephanie McMahon and kissing Stephanie in front of Triple H. You talk about him RKOing The Undertaker out of the chokeslam. You talk about him burning down Bray Wyatt's house, his comeback at Survivor Series War Games. Any era of WWE, Randy Orton has a memorable moment. And he has a big win in there somewhere. And again, it's the consistency and the level that he's been able to perform at throughout his career.
You're talking about the consistency, and that's great, and that's fine and dandy. But when you're talking about that period that Brock Lesnar was gone, it's not like Brock Lesnar went away, got his ass kicked once in an MMA ring, and then went on to be a commentator for 8 years like a certain
All right.
Brock Lesnar,
just catching
when
strays.
He was gone,
was
dominating UFC, winning world championships, and continued to be a scary, dominant badass in a completely different sport. I know, unfortunately, that can't really bleed into the argument for who had the better WWE career. I just want to be very clear that Brock Lesnar didn't leave WWE and go do something completely different. He continued to be a dominant athlete in a completely different sport. So just keep in mind what Brock was doing for a lot of the time that he was gone during that first part. I just want to make sure everyone remembers that. And
we remember because it's not WWE, so we're not.
But also too, to go back to a little bit of the consistency thing, I think Brock Lesnar, even though he did take a period where he left, again, this is nothing to take away from Randy Orton, but Nate, you said twice, I believe, Randy Orton didn't have to leave anywhere to get special. No, I think Brock Lesnar was special regardless. I think he was special the first time he was here. I think he was special when he got back. I think he was special leading up to The Undertaker, but then he hit another level, which ties into I believe Randy Orton has more moments in every era. That speaks to his consistency. Never going to disagree with that. But the moment that Brock Lesnar has is because, for example, not to discredit him, but like Randy Orton RKOing The Undertaker out of a chokeslam or whatever, it gets played, but it ain't Brock Lesnar or Undertaker not kicking out the F5. You know what I mean? Like I don't disagree that Randy Orton has more of those moments, and I'm not even gonna say they're not quality moments, but I believe Brock Lesnar does have more of those quality moments, even beating The Rock at SummerSlam or whatever. I believe that's just a little bit bigger because, again, this was like 6 months after he debuted or whatever the timeline was. So, again, I want to be sure I'm not taking anything away from Randy. But I think Brock Lesnar's moments that he had are just a little bit bigger when we look at the all-time status. And when you tie that in with the fact that the accomplishments are relatively in the same ballpark, not exactly the same, but in a similar ballpark. They both have been top guys while they're in the company. They've both been main event attractions. We talk about the aura. Every time Brock Lesnar comes in, hey, just like Randy, somebody finna get RKO'd, Brock Lesnar gonna come in and handle business. So, and then, he did beat him head to head, made him bleed, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
Hey man, Randy Orton's the youngest world champion, took that away from Brock. I feel like that's
he did.
SummerSlam main event versus Low Voldemort. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Okay, so you guys brought up some valid points. I actually was going to hold that against Team Randy, but you did bring up the youngest world champion stat, so you brought it up last minute because Brock Lesnar was the youngest world champion until Randy Orton took that away from him. Both guys have pretty much been consistent throughout their careers. Randy Orton was groomed in Evolution. Brock Lesnar got pushed to the moon when he came up, you know what I mean? So, the stratosphere of their star power, speaks for itself. I do have Randy Orton in my top 10 of all time. I don't have Brock Lesnar in my top 10 all time. He kind of misses out a little bit for me. You guys both made valid arguments, not really about what I think. It's about, who made the better argument. You argue the consistency stuff. that's a valid argument for Randy Orton. I think Team Brock brought up some good points with how Brock didn't need to be consistent, of how he was important pretty much every time he was in WWE, left WWE after only being there for 2 years, came back. You could say he was bigger when he came back. And in the streak, it's hard to go against too, whether people, feel like that was the right decision or not. I think people still have mixed emotions about it. Randy Orton being a consistent, Grand Slam champion is also a strong argument for his resume. You guys both made great arguments, but I think Team Brock had a little bit of an edge with the appealing argument for me. If I wasn't a wrestling fan and I was listening to the debate for the first time, in my mind, I would think Brock Lesnar would be the better career-wise, just for the arguments they made with the streak, the consistency of him not having to be around to even feel special, the attraction that he is, everything that embodies everything they argued. I feel like this has a little bit more for me personally of what I heard. So it was a great debate. I put those two together because I feel like they kind of had not similar careers, but they both, like I said, they both kind of really been in good spots throughout their careers. You know what I mean? Like Randy was.
But I think we did prove with both sides of the debate that they did have incredibly similar careers.
Yeah.
Incredibly similar.
Like, and even though I think that's what, and I said it, and I didn't mean to say it the way I said it, but like I think Randy's career is better. Like I think he's better. Like he's in my top 5 all time, and I'm low key shocked y'all didn't bring this up. But to me, Randy Orton is either top 1 or top 2 heels ever to be in WWE. Like that's what elevates him the most. I think he's legit been one of the most consistent, menacing heels. Like we talk about Edge when he was in his peak. I think Randy Orton, like in his peak as a heel, was crazy.
A point I was going to bring up right before Malik ended, and I didn't think about saying it at first, and I was like, damn, I should have said it. Where I was thinking about, I was like, talking about, I think you brought it up, talking about like Brock's like moments like that, and I was thinking about, and I was like, if you really think about Randy's big moments compared to Brock's big moments and how each one was built as a character, Brock's big moments were mainly like in ring based. Randy's big moments were all around like his menacing character, just like moments that were just like, ain't no way this boy actually did some shit like that.
Actually did, like, actually kissed Triple H's wife right in front of him, bro.
Menace, bro.
So you guys got the first points, G and Jade. You guys can pick the next category, and you guys can tell Nate and Menace what they're gonna do. So you guys want to do Super Cena, Big Dog Roman? You want to do heartbreaking loss between Drew and Cody, or you want to do Undertaker? What matches were better between Shawn and Triple H?
These are all good categories.
Yeah, these are great.
Yeah,
they're really good.
I think G, the only one that's left that
wait for y'all to get spicy in here, man. Y'all need to sit again.
The one that's left that I don't really have a dog in the fight with, G, is number 2. I feel like that could be argued either way.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I actually agree with you. I think 2 or 3, but like low key, if you want, we can go straight to 4 because I have and pretty much pick the side that they should.
So you want to pick the side for that?
Yeah, I want to pick the side for them because I know I feel like I'm super confident in that one as far as what side I want to be on.
So based on Malik's rules though, we would have to let them go first.
Yes,
but we know what side they're arguing. We're picking the side for them, right? That's how that works.
Yes, you're picking the side for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no problem letting them go first, but I know exactly what side I want them to be on. The other 2, I'm cool, but I know what side I want them to be on for 4.
Okay. So we can pick number 4, but just say they go first, but then we get to pick our side.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So you're gonna pick. They're gonna go first, but you're gonna pick what side they have to debate. So whatever side you pick for them is the side you're gonna pick the other side that you want.
Okay. All right, G. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, you can.
All right,
yeah.
so we're gonna pick number 4, and we want them to argue Super Cena. So we're gonna argue Big Dog Roman.
All right.
I'm not even gonna lie. I felt it in my bones. That was what they was doing though.
So next up we have who was hated more. Who was hated more by the fans, Super Cena or Big Dog Roman?
All right,
And
I'll go.
Nate and Menace are going to have to defend Big Dog Roman. Your time starts now.
No, they're defending Super Cena.
I'm sorry, yeah.
We're sending Super Cena, yeah. I mean, we'll do the Roman. All right, so Super Cena, bro. What can I say, man? This dude, he turned off an entire generation to wrestling. I cannot tell you how many people used to watch up until the Ruthless Aggression era and then fell off. Why? Because this Fruity Pebble former fake fucking Vanilla Ice Eminem wannabe was on our screen saying baloney fudging mustard and saying his email address was some candypants@gmail.com. What was I, nigga? Was I watching Nickelodeon, Disney Channel? Was I watching WWE? Tell me what I was watching. This man would come out, have the same match. 5 moves of doom, pack it up, we're going home. And he won how many world titles with that before he actually started being a good wrestler? He won 13 of them titles before he actually, oh shit, I should probably learn how to actually do this shit and actually have a good match. I cannot, bro. The pure hatred this man had. People hated this dude. This man went into the ECW arena. I genuinely believe if this man won, there would have been a legitimate riot that night. Like, Cena was not making it out of there safe. That place would have legitimately burned down. That's how much people hated John Cena. Because people didn't want to see that, bro. We just came from The Rock, Stone Cold, Brock Lesnar, and now you got this dude talking about just the most childish catchphrases. And then SummerSlam 2010, the Nexus, this man got DDT'd on concrete. And he kicked out at 2. And bro, Cena wins low. That's all I gotta say. Cena wins low. Basically defines that whole run of Super Cena up until Brock thankfully killed that shit in one night. Thank God for Brock Lesnar. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pass it to Menace.
Well, one reason why I can easily say why people hated Cena off the jump, you had a white dude that was swole as hell acting like he was black. Point blank. Boy came out there with some long ass baggy jean shorts on came out with an open ass jersey on, just battle rapping people, just off rip. And he was like, what the fuck am I watching? And he kept this going on week after week after week. Okay, that's fun, that's cool. And then when he solidifies himself as the guy, okay, cool. You know, he's the guy, but his in-ring performance ain't necessarily getting better. It's just his overall character is developed. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what he does better in-ring. And his in-ring work still ain't really all that, but okay. But then they've been after a while. It's okay, now who's going to be the next guy? It's still John Cena. Okay, who's going to be John Cena? It's still John Cena. Okay, who's going to be John Cena now? It's still John Cena. Okay, who's going to be the next him? It's clearly still John Cena. Every time you figured the torch was going to get passed, every time you figured someone was going to beat John, every time you figured that, okay, John is not number one no more, they humbled your ass and made you realize it was clear as day John Cena. And that was why people did not want that. They wanted other people to be the number one guy. They wanted everybody but Cena, because nobody wants the man that can only legitimately wrestle and have like 7 moves in his arsenal and cuts the same type of promos. And after a while, just hearing him just rip on people, it's funny, but that do get old after a while. And I feel like the way that he just continuously and I'm not one of these people, but the way he buried talent was terrible. It genuinely was actually terrible. And that right there was why people wanted to see him wanted to see more people be the top guy, because it was during the Ruthless Aggression era, he was damn near as bad as Reign of Terror Triple H.
7 people. 7 niggas in one night. One night. An entire group. That ain't never been done before, bro. That's usually like, oh shoot, that was they imploded on themselves, or oh that's just one night, one guy, one night, 7 niggas, bro. No.
All right, you guys have 5 seconds. Anything you just want Last 5 seconds. Anything random?
Nah, I'm good.
Oh,
Bro down
all
there
right.
is
Let
getting
us know.
personal. I'm surprised.
Hey, let us know when to start, cause
All right, Big Dog Roman. Let's go.
you
All
want to
right,
know why?
I'll let you start, G. Just save me some time, but I'll let you go.
I got you, because y'all was talking about how they wanted to see anybody else but Cena at the top. When Roman came around, all of a sudden they wanted Cena back at that top. There were signs saying if Cena, you remember how it used to be, if Cena wins, we riot? No mercy. If Cena loses, we riot. That's how much people. You talked about bologna, freaking mustard, suffering succotash. We had suffering succotash with the blue contacts and everything.
The blue contacts.
Suffering succotash.
Not the blue contacts.
Bro, they hated Roman so bad, bro. So bad, bro. Kids, when Roman lost a feud, everybody was like, "Oh, they're actually gonna put Bobby Lashley beat him on pay-per-view." Just to lose the number one contendership the next night to the same man he just beat on pay-per-view. Bro, Roman Reigns, all the main events we talk about that he had, how many of them were good? Maybe one, maybe. And this is before Tribal Chief. We talk about Big Dog. Bro, the main event with Triple H, ain't nobody was trying to see that. At least Shawn Michaels versus Cena was good. At least John Cena had compelling stories. You know what I mean? At least everybody was eating up when he fought The Rock. Ain't nobody was trying to see Roman Reigns versus Brock. They hated Brock Lesnar so much. There were people that wanted to see Brock Lesnar retain when he was gone for forever in his big part time, because anybody but Roman. I'm telling y'all, man, Big Dog Roman, the amount, like, even though we can say it's a smart crowd, the amount of go away heat that man got when he beat The Undertaker. They weren't booing because, oh, he's a heel. They was booing because, Roman's the guy you're pushing. And then, just when they thought, oh, they might turn him heel, what did he come back and do? The same old babyface stuff he was doing before. Big Dog Roman, oh my goodness. And then when he finally won the title, you know how much they didn't want to see it? They had to bring the Shield back because that was the last time they felt Roman was interesting, to make that title reign be somewhat cool at the start of it. Now, we know what happened after that. We don't need to talk about that. But Big Dog Roman, they wanted Cena. They wanted anybody in the world. Big Dog Roman was hated so much because he was pulling another Cena, but in a worse level. Anybody else who was the champion that wasn't Roman didn't matter, because everything that they was doing was to push Roman. There was no other top star in the company but Roman. Continue. At least Cena had Edge and Randy with him, and he had some other guys with him that were on his level to an extent, somewhat. You had your Batista at one point. Triple H was there. No, it was Roman and everybody. Roman, Brock, and everybody else. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Suffering Succotash. I'm glad you brought up the Undertaker boo. They booing someone for 8 straight minutes is not, oh, this dastardly heel heat. I got to make sure we understand that. Number 2, the thing with Roman, I never knew Cena to be as universally hated as Roman Reigns was. You think back to Super Cena, and every time the Cena sucks chance, it was like, 10,000, 20+ males in the arena going, Cena sucks. But then you still have like 5,000 to 7,000 women and small children going, let's go Cena. When it was Roman, all 15,000 people in that motherfucker were booing him out of the building. There was no in between. No in between. And then you think about John Cena too, even during the Super Cena run, which I consider to be all the way up until the beginning of 2015 when he lost his last world championship before he won the one from AJ, but I don't count that as a Super Cena run. Even during the Super Cena run, there were moments of levity with John Cena, such as when he put Daniel Bryan over at SummerSlam, when he put Daniel Bryan over again at the Championship Ascension ceremony, when he did the thing with Mark Henry. There were moments of levity with John Cena where the crowd kind of backed off a little bit and was like, all right, maybe Cena's not so bad. Now, the next week he won another world championship and everyone would dump all over him again, but there were moments of levity with Cena. Roman Reigns, from the time the Shield split to the time he came back as the Tribal Chief, was universally hated by everyone in the crowd at every show and every pay-per-view. That man wrestled Jinder Mahal on a Money in the Bank and still couldn't get over it. he still couldn't get over against Jinder Mahal. I don't know what else to say. Universally hated.
Oh, is that time? Dang.
Yep. You guys can rebuttal though. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Go ahead, 'cause I got.
I'll let you guys rebuttal because you guys are both swaying me, man. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, man. So you talk about they were like, we hate Roman so much we want Cena back. That was not Super Cena. Just to let y'all know, Super Cena died the moment Brock Lesnar killed him at SummerSlam. So that they didn't want Super Cena back. They just wanted John Cena back because he's old, and we and all of a sudden in this culture, you go long enough, people are just going to eventually love you. They're just going to eventually love you. That's all that was. It's we miss John Cena, nostalgia pop. Oh, do you can't see me. You said they had a sign if Cena loses, we riot. Where was the riot? I never heard anything about a riot at No Mercy. But if you look at that crowd at ECW, you can feel it. Like, I don't even have to tell. You can feel it. You hear that boo, you're like, nah. They would have rioted. Money in the Bank 2011, you can feel it. If John Cena would have beat CM Punk that night, there would have been a legitimate riot that night. Roman Reigns, people hate Roman Reigns. They boo him, whatever, blah, 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 blue contacts, whatever. People wasn't going to riot over Roman Reigns. They would tweet their displeasure. But that's about it. And wasn't actually going to do nothing. I mean, how many chances did the fans actually get to riot? I mean, come on, Backlash 2018. But that has
more to do with the style of crowd they were in front of, not the man they were hating. ECW fans, no, listen to me. ECW, and if you argue this, Nate, I don't know what to tell you. ECW fans are fucking maniacs, okay?
They are.
ECW fans are out of their fucking mind. So no shit they were going to riot. They would riot if the toast was too dry. The ECW fans.
All right, well, what about the Chicago crowd?
CM Punk had those fucking Punkanites wound up into such a fucking knot. They didn't want anything else but CM Punk to be crowned the king of the fucking world. CM Punk had the entire internet behind him. That wasn't an anti-John Cena crowd. That was a pro-CM Punk crowd. They were in Chicago. He had been tweeting about it all fucking week. The storyline was hot as hell. Is he going to leave, and is he going to leave with the title? That had nothing to do with people hating Cena. That was all about Punk and the story.
And to add on, because you talk about those crowds, you also talk about those crowds. What about the Mania crowd after he beat the Undertaker? They booed that man. That was a 15. I'm not gonna say the exact time, but that was at least double-digit minutes from the time he came out and that music hit. That's how they started the show. That music hit, boom. Every time he was getting the Dominic Mysterio heat times 5. That's what he was getting.
I think it was I think Kay said it. I think maybe we brought up how like the kids and like the women are the ones that cheered for Cena. I can very easily argue the fact that the only reason why that was because he was pushed as like the hero-like figure. If John Cena was never presented as like the one he's supposed to be the Superman of WWE, that was supposed to be like that large-in-life hero.
Roman Reigns' signature is the Superman.
I was about
John
to say
Cena would have been Roman Reigns. Like John Cena would have been Roman Reigns. Everybody would have booed that man to oblivion.
No, wait, but Roman Reigns was the reincarnation of John Cena. That's what Roman Reigns' big dog character. He was supposed to be the hero after he split from the Shield. He was coming out here, doing stuff for the fans, and that's what they put the blue contacts in his eyes for. And then just to wrap, for me, this is gonna be my last argument. When Cena after WrestleMania got his hand held up by The Rock, wasn't that many boos? When Roman Reigns got his hand held up by The Rock after winning the Rumble. And this ain't Rock. This ain't Rock as a heel now. This is Rock after he's established. That's the last time The Rock. That is the last time. Let me explain how much people hated Roman Reigns.
Dolph Ziggler.
That was the last time Roman Reigns. That was the last time The Rock got booed. That was the last time The Rock got booed. Holding up Roman Reigns' hands because anybody but Roman. That's my last argument because that's the last time The Rock didn't got booed.
I don't think that Rumble was anyone but Roman. I think it was. We just want Daniel. Anyone like if it's anyone but Daniel.
It was really Daniel Bryan. It was Daniel Bryan.
And the fact that it was Roman Reigns, a new guy. Oh yeah, no, that was
the moment Daniel Bryan got eliminated, the crowd shit, just like the year before. They
completely turned on that whole run with the moment.
But they popped for Rusev when Rusev got back in the ring and acted like he was going to win the whole thing. Rusev got a pop. If Rusev had won, he got in cheer because he eliminated Roman Reigns.
I think once Daniel Bryan got eliminated, they knew, okay, well, it's got to be Roman then. And that's because I guarantee you, if Daniel Bryan got eliminated and then Roman Reigns got eliminated like three people later, whoever would have won the Rumble that year, he would have got cheered. He would have got cheered. Yeah.
Wasn't Bray Wyatt in that Rumble?
Wouldn't have needed The Rock to raise their hand, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think Bray Wyatt
wasn't that Rumble.
Imagine if Bray Wyatt would have run, everybody would have cheered. I don't think anybody would have tripped. But because it was Roman, it was, don't get me wrong, Daniel Bryan getting eliminated played a part to it too. But because Roman was the winner and the ending angle of them bringing out the Big Show and Kane to try to beat him up and Rock having to do this, like, bro, Big Show and Kane were in the final 3 game. And it wasn't the big red monster Kane, the screaming Kane tonight. Kane.
If it was really anybody but Roman, why were they cheering Big Show and Kane?
WWE
were also part of
the
the
2016 Royal Rumble to try and get Roman Reigns over, and it didn't work. They sacrificed the 2016 Royal Rumble in an effort to get Roman Reigns over. Still didn't work.
Yeah,
sacrificed an entire Rumble.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Triple H went over.
Triple H. Because once Triple H won, what happened? We knew we was getting that horrible main event of Triple H versus Roman.
And then Triple H was still the babyface.
Hey, all I'm saying is,
just like Cena, he was babyface against Cena too. Cena did it first, literally 10 years before.
Beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Come on now, like I'm just, if people are cheering for Reign of Terror Triple H to pin John Cena and successfully
literally 10 years
another world title run, that says a whole bunch about how people don't give a fuck about John Cena.
Yeah, and John Cena, Super Cena walked so Big Dog Roman could run. So
just because you were it's kind of like Michael Vick with Lamar Jackson. Michael Vick walked so Lamar Jackson could run, but we all know Lamar Jackson is better. John Cena walked so Roman Reigns could run, but we all know Roman Reigns was more hated. I won't say by far, but he was definitely more hated.
I mean, John Cena sucks, man. Them John Cena sucks with in sync with his theme. I don't know, man. Cena
and after sing with Roman, they just booed.
At least John Cena. Hey, they said Kurt Angle. They were singing "You Suck" to Kurt Angle's theme song too. Hey, he ain't hated like Roman.
Kurt Angle love the kids.
Hey, man. Cena got his shirt. Didn't someone wipe their ass with John Cena's shirt? That's great. How many times did Cena get his shirt thrown back at him? By the way,
Cena like twice.
Mm-hmm. A lot. Niggas hated John Cena.
Y'all still going, or y'all said y'all piece?
No, I'm good. The Rock holding up his hand and still getting booed. That's my final piece.
Wiping your ass with someone wiping your ass with a shirt is kind of crazy though. That's the ultimate sign of disrespect to me.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You both, I'm kind of in the middle, bro. Y'all had some compelling arguments, bro. Y'all had some compelling arguments, like Cena in the beginning.
Imagine
Cena in the beginning. They brought up some really good points about how, the PG era was, too gimmicky, and then, they wanted anybody but Cena, and then you brought up some good points when they brought Roman in, though. It was like, oh, we want Cena back, you know what I'm saying? Because Roman Reigns is here. Oh, man. Y'all brought up some good points, man. I will say, I was waiting to see if Big Dog Roman had brought up the argument, and I think if they had brought up the argument, it would have sealed it for me. But the fact that y'all didn't bring up that he had leukemia, came back, and they still hated him after he beat cancer when he came back.
I was trying to be politically correct by not bringing that up.
I didn't want to bring it up because it was
that was part of it. That was part of
touchy,
it.
But
he beat leukemia. All praise to that man. He came back, and the fans still hated him. Even after he beat.
Well, they didn't hate him at first. They cheered him, and then once
it didn't take long. Once we
got past Drew McIntyre, because here's my thing. I think once we got past the little Drew McIntyre made it feud, he wasn't really getting booed like that. And then we were getting to the Goldberg Mania match, because I don't remember exactly what he did in between. But when we got to the Goldberg
2019,
one,
he was getting booed. He was getting booed too.
Yeah, well, I don't think
that's
it,
where
I
the
don't
booze
think
It wasn't as bad as before. It wasn't as bad as before because he wasn't in the title picture. That's why.
Yeah, and then when we got
But
to
when he got back to
Goldberg,
that title picture, though,
it was like well, no, because it was
It was starting to crank back up.
Yeah, it was like
when we got
okay,
to
okay,
Nate.
But
we
then-
might be.
but then everything
and then he
shut
left
down.
it. Yeah, so that's why he bring it up, because it wasn't
he was
that bad.
he was still getting booed, and the only reason, and this is just for a fact too, they were still trying to push him as a baby. If the pandemic never happened, we don't even know if the tribal chief would exist, because the only reason they had Goldberg beat the Fiend was because they wanted Roman Reigns to be champion, and they didn't want Roman Reigns to beat the Fiend because if he had beat the Fiend, they would have booed him. He beats Goldberg though. Nobody gonna hate him if he beats Goldberg, so Goldberg can take the heat. It's the only reason. The only reason they did it. It's the only reason they did it. They still hated that man with a passion. They still hated Super Cena though too. I ain't gonna lie though, man. They did wipe that man's ass with that shirt, bro. Threw it back at him. That was ultimately disrespectful, bro.
And Dookie stays on his shirt.
I think Cena definitely wrestled more in hostile environments as well than Roman Reigns did. One Night Stand, Money in the Bank. I mean, every time they went to England or Canada, it was pretty ultimate heel heat. Menace brought up a good point too. Like, you know, they cheered for Triple H at WrestleMania over John Cena when Triple H had been Reign of Terror for the last almost damn near a couple of years, and they wanted Triple H to win over John Cena. They booed John Cena at the Hall of Fame the night Eddie Guerrero got inducted. That was crazy. So I mean,
but Jade also brought up too. Triple H was still the babyface when he fought Roman.
You're right, man. You're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Cena, they brought up a good point. Roman, they brought up some good points as well. I mean, there was a lot of valid arguments you could say. You know, you brought up the good arguments about how Roman Reigns is supposed to be another John Cena babyface, and you know they shitted all over it. You can make the argument too, and I was hoping one thing that Cena didn't bring up was they pretty much booed Roman Reigns in spite of John Cena, because John Cena made it uncool when you become the guy. You start to get booed. He was the first one. They didn't boo The Rock. They didn't boo Stone Cold. They never booed Hulk Hogan when he was the guy. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, those guys got cheered. John Cena was the first guy. When you become the guy, we're going to turn on you and hate you. So I was kind of hoping they brought up that argument, because once Roman became that guy, they hated Roman Reigns because they knew he was going to be the next company guy. So
Cena did start that trend, because now you see it kind of a little bit more often. Once people see that this company's about to be the guy, they even started it with Braun Breaker in NXT, because I think they knew Braun Breaker sucks. They turned him heel because they were like, oh well, he's that guy. So he started that trend. Man, you guys brought up some good arguments, man. I'm not gonna lie. That was you guys. I kind of want to give you both the points, man. I like that.
It was good.
It was.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was legitimately funny too.
And because I think we can all agree, we all think Roman was the most hated, right? Like,
I think it's pretty even for me, because I watched them both and I was fans of both of them, but I don't think people are now loving John Cena because he's not there anymore. You know what I mean? So now they like John Cena because he's not around anymore. And I feel like they'll do the same with Roman Reigns. Once Roman's not there much anymore, they're gonna miss Roman Reigns.
See, in fairness to me, because like here's where I think, like, as far as Cena now, like when people are hating on him now, it's also because he's a heel too, and he does heel tendencies at his back. So it's kind of like the combo. It's kind of not as bad as Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar didn't cheat to do it; he just won. Yeah. But it's like, you're cheating, you're doing the heel things, and you're barely here. And we feel like you kind of did this a little bit longer than we needed. Fine. With and Cena, I feel like when he got hated, or at least for me as a kid, or not even as a kid, like even as a teenager, like I was still rocking with Cena. I was like, all right, you gonna do your thing. I'm on Monday Night Raw, I'm a fast forward the first 15 minutes of this match. Because that's why I started watching Raw on DVR. Because for a long time, you could fast forward the first 15 and then get to the last 5 and call it a day. So I get you on that, but
I think it depends the era you're from too. Like most of us grew up in the Cena era, so when we were kids, Cena was the good guy. So we were supposed to like John Cena. By the time Roman Reigns became the guy, we were in high school, teenagers. You know what I'm saying? We kind of already understood what wrestling was about. So we're not supposed to like this guy because. Well,
I didn't say it. I was 20. I was 24 when Roman Reigns.
Yeah, so 20.
I didn't say it, Jay. I didn't say it, bro.
In your 20s or a teenager, or whatever, we were starting to mature enough to where we kind of understood, what Roman Reigns was and why we kind of hate him. But if we had grew up during the Roman era, maybe we would have liked Roman because he was supposed to be the good guy. You know what I mean?
So my only counterpoint to that would be, because at least now most of us we're in our 20s. Maybe some people right about to get there. And Cody Rhodes is the biggest, like literally the exact blueprint of what you want a white meat baby face to be.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And in this era, not only the kids, but us as adults, I mean, some of us, we might be like, man, pack that man up weird, but it's a very few. He's like a genuine baby face, and he's getting the big, almost maybe not same level, but almost when Cena was first that ultimate baby face, how hot he was. He's basically on that level. And mind you, in today's world with Cody Rhodes, he lost that Mania, ain't challenged for the title since. We know he's in a holding pattern, and he still ain't lost no steam. He still is over as he was going into that.
Right.
So I feel like, the reason I say that is because I feel like even as adults, we can recognize when we have a good baby face. And I think with Cena, even though they was both hated, I think Cena, there was still some who was like, okay, cool. Whereas I think it was a more resounding no for Roman than it was 50-50 for Cena. Or like maybe 80-20.
I think one of the reasons that Cody is continuously cheered though is because he wasn't the first option though. Like he wasn't the chosen company babyface guy. He was in the mid cards in the beginning of his career. I mean, he had to leave and make himself something and come back to be over what he was. If he had been the chosen one, like Roman was the chosen one, like Roman's never really been in a bad spot in WWE. He was in the Shield. Once the Shield split up, he's in the main event of WrestleMania. So he was the chosen one from day one, obviously. So you guys made both compelling arguments, but I'm going to give the edge to Team Roman only because of two things. Number one, I think what sold me was you said that they hated Roman so much that they wanted Cena back, and Jay brought up a good point where he fought Jinder Mahal and still couldn't even get over it. And that honestly is kind of crazy if you think about it. I remember that feud. They put him in a feud with Jinder Mahal, hoping that he would get cheered, and they still hated Roman Reigns. They didn't care. They didn't care who won. It didn't matter if it was Jinder. They hated Jinder Mahal. They hated Roman Reigns equally. It didn't even matter. It didn't matter who cheered who.
So sad.
I remember watching that Money in the Bank. Heard Booze and Jinder come out. Booze Roman came out. I was like, this is.
But that match went out like 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah. Like the match, the match to me wasn't a bad match. It's just the fact that Roman Reigns still couldn't get over it. Like even when he had beat Jinder Mahal, people were still like, oh, well, we don't like you, Roman. So that's even still crazy. So the fact. So I'll give the slight
same
edge
Roman that beat
Team
Randy Orton 3 straight times.
I'm surprised I didn't bring up Backlash 2018.
Oh my gosh, when he beat Samoa Joe stuff.
Well, honestly, there was so much to bring up.
Wait, Backlash
2018 wasn't enough.
That was
2018 when he fought Samoa Joe.
In the main event, people literally left. Like
they left.
Once the main event, like they were
left.
Yeah, it was that bad.
All right, you guys get to pick. We got 3 more left, but you guys are gonna get to pick which one do you want, the Cody and Drew, or you want the Triple H and Shawn Michaels Undertaker?
Oh, Jay, you got this one because I told you what I wanted for the 4th, so you got this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to be clear, to kind of break it down, when it comes to Cody and Drew, you're going to defend which one was the more heartbreaking loss, and you can also defend why that person should have won if you believe they should have won. Whatever how you
as a fan though, right?
Yeah, like why it was the more heartbreaking loss, and you could also bring up why it was the wrong decision to have that person lose. For the Undertaker Triple H stuff, you're going to defend what 2 matches and story were the better ones. So it's either going to be Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at 25 and 26, why it was better than the 2 matches that had Triple H at 27 and 28. Or
so I just want to be clear real quick. Is it which one was sadder in correlation to that person's storyline or sadder to us as the wrestling fan?
However you want to defend it, bro. It could be both. However you want to defend it.
You.
All right, I think I have to defend. I have to defend Taker versus HBK.
Okay.
So
you want them to you want them to do Triple H and Taker.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
So you're gonna defend Undertaker, Triple H, WrestleMania 27 and 28. Why those 2 matches were better than the matches with Shawn Michaels, and why that story was better. So y'all better be able to come with those receipts, man, because I know the whole storyline. So I'm gonna see if y'all can cook, man. Both sides. So time will start now.
Well, for me personally, why I would say Taker versus Triple H is the better storyline, because leading into the first match of Triple H, it was already the fact that he just beat his best friend twice. So now it already has that aura about, well, what can Triple H do? We've already seen Triple H lose to Taker already at Mania in the past, so is it going to be a repeat again? But they bring the no holds bar element to it. Okay, I like it. But once Triple H is the one that he lost the match, but he walks out, leaving Taker there to be, carted off. That right there is the start of the true story. The fact that Taker won but couldn't leave on his own accord, while the loser was able to leave, getting people off him. I don't need your help. Get away from me. So who truly won that match? Which is why Taker the following year did a repeat of what Shawn did to Taker. But whenever Triple H was like, Undertaker went to Triple H, won that match again, and Triple H was basically like, I don't need this. I don't need to fight you. I'm here running the company. Like, I have a job now. Almost a literal flip of Shawn Michaels going to Undertaker, telling them, I need that match again. I know I can beat you. I can do better than what I did last year. And Taker telling them, I literally don't have nothing to prove to you. That was the same thing, except Triple H was, I literally have a job to do now, man. I literally do not need this. I point blank I don't need this. Then bringing in the factor of Shawn Michaels, the loser to The Undertaker, the best friend of Triple H, having to be the special guest referee. So much dynamic in that match. Seeing Shawn Michaels try to be down the middle. He wants to be fair for both people. So there's already that emotional side to it because he respects his best friend, but he respects the man that, beat him fairly. Because he sees what Taker can do. He beat him twice. He beat him twice. So now the match in the against Triple H, amazing storytelling. Triple H doing everything he can to keep the Undertaker down, and Shawn Michaels is damn near pleading Triple H, quit. You've done more than enough, man. Someone that did everything he could and couldn't keep him down is now pleading his best friend to not do any more damage because he believes that's too much. Amazing storytelling. But Taker keeps on kicking out. He keeps on kicking out. Then he rallies. Then we see what, in my opinion, is a top 3 near fall of all time. The Sweet Chin Music into the Pedigree combo, where Triple H covers the Undertaker, 1-2 kick out. That is God tier level storytelling. Even a tag team of DX could not keep down the Undertaker with one last gasp. That speaks a whole lot about the entirety of their feud. These 3 legends always doing what they feel like they need to do, but someone always kicking out. They never getting the job done. And then at the very end, the 3 legends, 3 of the greatest of all time, helping each other walk down the ring. And that was the end of the era. They all look at they look at the crowd, look at the Hell in a Cell, what they just did, look at each other as like, yeah, the culmination of our story is finally done. We are now at peace now. That's why I believe they had the better storyline and the better 2 consecutive WrestleMania matches.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much hit on every point. I mean, the story. I mean, how many times have you seen Undertaker, like, basically tell an opponent, "I want to fight you," like, because I need my lick back? How many times has someone gotten under Undertaker's skin? How many times has somebody who has an advantage over the Undertaker just willingly walk away? It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And that happened. That was that story. And the Hell in a Cell was the perfect culmination of that entire storyline. That was the perfect way to end it. Top 3 near fall of all time. An incredible match. I mean, and also you add in the little factor of Undertaker getting into Triple H's head and saying, "Well, you always knew that Shawn was better than you, right?" Like just the little things like that they would bring up throughout that feud. Which makes me believe that was the better part of that storyline.
You guys have 30 seconds. Any last thoughts?
Nah.
Yeah, I'm cool right here.
I'm good.
All right, JG, the floor is yours. Your time starts now.
Go ahead, Jay.
The one thing that I want to start with is really going back to the very beginning of the HBK Taker storyline, because I think a lot of people start that storyline at WrestleMania 25, and that comes nowhere close to encapsulating the whole thing and just how long-term and how heartfelt and how deep that rivalry runs. And I don't even have to go all the way back to In Your House and all that stuff, right? That stuff is in the past. Frankly, The build up to those 2 WrestleMania matches started 2 years before the first one at the Royal Rumble in 2007. At the Royal Rumble in 2007 and at the Royal Rumble in 2008, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker had what could very well be great WrestleMania matches in the middle of the Royal Rumble. Everyone else gone, going at each other for 50+ minutes. One of them can eliminate the other, and then finally one of them does. That all leads to WrestleMania 25, and then what can you say about WrestleMania 25? I mean, if everyone here were to name their top 5 WrestleMania matches ever, at least 3 and maybe all 5 of us would say WrestleMania 25. The pageantry, the match taking place in Texas, both of their home states, and then they go out there and prove that they are 2 of the best to ever do it one-on-one. And then you get the story from WrestleMania 25 to 26. We talked about how Triple H had a great story with The Undertaker wanting that second shot at Triple H. Well, it was easy for that story to be great when they already had the blueprint because they had already done it once. And I think they did it better because Shawn Michaels, for his entire year, from that Raw after WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania, his entire life's mission was to get one more shot at The Undertaker. One more chance. That's all I need. And then he finally gets to the Royal Rumble. He finally sees, this is my last shot. Taker's got the belt. I'm going to do it. And then when he gets eliminated and he slow motion is grasping at the ropes, I don't think I've ever been more emotionally destroyed than when I saw HBK's face when he realized he just lost his only shot. And then against the wall, with no other options left to him, he sneaks into the Elimination Chamber and costs The Undertaker the World Championship and another WrestleMania main event. Selfishly and foolishly throws away 20 years of friendship and respect with The Undertaker because nothing else matters except for me getting this one match. And then Taker finally says, fine, I'll do it, but if I beat you, you're gone. I wish anything in wrestling could duplicate the feeling that I had when Taker looked Shawn in his eyes and said, if I beat you, you're done. And then when it happened, my God, guys. We talk about Ric Flair's retirement match at WrestleMania, but when Shawn comes up and crawls on Undertaker and gives him one last taunt, and then Taker does a fucking jumping tombstone in the middle of the ring, 4 years of hatred culminating into one jumping tombstone with more authority than we've ever seen anyone hit a tombstone in their entire life. Classic, perfect, wouldn't change a thing. The best WrestleMania story I've ever seen told.
I mean, Jay said most of it. I just want to piggyback off of one thing because when you, in a world now where you got your Sean Ross Shapps, your Melters, all these sites where everything gets reported backstage. I mean, yeah, you had the dirt sheets, right? Obviously not as big as it is now. At that time, you didn't know what was gonna happen. With that, because Jay talked about the story. I mean, the Slammy Awards when he accepted the award for great match, and then he come back. It's like I can beat you, and we have the the Elimination Chamber. When that stipulation gets set, you didn't know what was good. That was like maybe 25. You were probably pretty confident Undertaker was retained, keeping it straight. You got to that next one because we're thinking Shawn Michaels. He's still maybe not in the prime, but he's still cooking. Are they really gonna have Shawn Michaels retire when he's still got a lot more in the tank? Is this gonna be the one? Because they already had the match before. You know, like, hey, is Shawn really gonna lose twice and be done? Like legit done? That to me, because unfortunately, Triple H's career, like even though I think those stories were great as well.
All right, your time is up. I'll let you finish your statement. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically my point is, even though we had the Triple H story and all that was great, I think the genuine not knowing what's gonna happen with Shawn Michaels and is he really gonna retire? Are they really gonna pull that? Because we think he has a lot in the tank. I think that is what kind of elevates the first two over the next two.
Sorry, G, I got carried away.
No.
I am emotionally invested in that story 15 years later. It's insane.
You guys can start rebuttaling. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, you could. You go.
Oh, for sure. I think for me, and again, not taking anything away from, in my opinion, the greatest WrestleMania match might be of all time, but I think the fact that Taker had just retired Shawn Michaels, I think that brought a specific element to Triple H's storyline. The fact that if we just watched this man put on two of the greatest matches of all time, and he just retired this man, what could Triple H possibly do? And people universally say that Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H. So what could Triple H bring to this feud that makes me believe that he could actually win? And then the fact that he didn't win, but he essentially won the war. He lost the battle, but won the war. That aspect, directly leading from the fact that he retired Shawn Michaels, is why I think that adds a specific layer to Triple H's feud. Because then made it, okay, if he's able to do this here, what else could he possibly do to potentially get the job done? And I think that all stems from the fact that he retired Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and I think you say you don't know if Shawn or Taker was going to win at 26. You could argue at 28. You didn't know it was end of an era. You didn't know if Taker was going to keep the streak or if Triple H was going to break the streak, because at the time it was like, all right, this is it. This is the end of the era. These three are ending this story. They're ending this era that they all were prominent in. So it could have gone either way, as seen with the Tombstone Pedigree combo. I think you can make that argument that was as unpredictable, if it probably more unpredictable, in the sense that, oh shit, like this is it. Because after, you might as well end the streak here, because they're not doing anything after this, the way the story's going. So you might as well end the streak right now. So I think that brought another layer of unpredictability to that story.
Jay, do you got anything you want to say?
Well, so the only thing that I would say in regards to the Triple H, the end of an era in retrospect, that was a good selling point, but ultimately, what did it really mean? Because Triple H went on to win another world championship after that. Undertaker's streak carried forward. He main evented, right, and had main event WrestleMania matches after that. So when we look back, it was a great selling point, but what did it really mean? Now, ultimately, yeah, Shawn Michaels came back and had that trash match at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, it's this magical world where Saudi Arabian blood money can cause anything to happen. I hate that they drugged Shawn Michaels' ass back out of retirement for that. But at the time, you know, for 15 years after that, it felt like that was it. Whereas with Triple H, he's still kind of every week out there doing stuff. With The Undertaker, he's out there doing WrestleMania build-ups and having matches with CM Punk and the like. And so it feels to me that the story with Shawn and Triple H, Shawn and Taker, rather, excuse me, between just those two was more finite, and it felt like it had more of a solid finish than the end of an era. But you could argue Arabian blood money, you could argue either way. But
you could argue end of an era just meant this is the last time, at the time, that we're going to tussle. The last time we're going to go. Obviously, 2018 happened. That we don't want to talk about that. But you could argue that was the last time we're going to see these three in the same story at the same time. And, you know, and these prominent roles of WrestleMania, like big time match between these two big icons of the Attitude Era. It's the last time we're going to see them come together. And in the end of this era of, I mean, you said it, from 2007 all the way to 2012. That could have been, you can also argue that was the end of that era, the era of, you have Undertaker feud with Shawn, then he feuds with Triple H. Triple H getting revenge for Shawn Michaels. So you can say that was the end of that era as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean like, oh, it was the end of Shawn Michaels, the end of Triple H, the end of Undertaker. Just the end of that collective story of all them together.
Well, while I was away, I heard everything you said. I just obviously wasn't on camera. So the only thing I wanted to kind of address is when you referenced like you felt like it could have been more unpredictable because you were saying it's the end of an era. Only reason why I disagree with that is because even though, yes, they called it end of an era, and I was very much like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, are they actually, is this how you end it, right? Unintended. It was almost like, you know, I think it was a little bit less unpredictable, only because they're literally calling it end of an era. Like, I don't know. When they announced Shawn Michaels possibly retiring, the reason I feel that was more unpredictable is I think universally we could all realize if let's just say they was back, but still going back for 5 years at the very least. Like, he still had a lot of gas in the tank. It didn't look like he was slowing down at all. Like, maybe obviously not to a Randy extent now, because Randy's still there. But I think he could have lasted another 5 years, been a couple more Manias, couple more programs, and been as elite as he was at that time. I think that what made that more unpredictable, because, like, is Shawn Michaels really going to retire at the somewhat top of his game? Obviously, he's not true in his prime form, but we all recognize when he came back from him losing his smile, we all felt, if anything, you could argue some of his best matches, best feuds and all that came in that era, and he was still putting on the great in-ring matches that we've known him for. So to see that he's gonna retire, it's kind of like when we used LeBron James in an analogy earlier. LeBron James is still being efficient. You can say what you want about him. He's still playing on a top 10, top 15 level in year 20, which is unheard of, right? Imagine if LeBron goes through 2016 and 2017 at the top of his game, probably his most efficient, and then just says, all right, I'm out. We're like, what? Like, you still got more years in you. There's no way you can be done. We just saw you. We're still considering you the best in the world in 2016. That's how I feel it was with Shawn Michaels. I think we still were considering him. Oh, my goodness. I think we were still considering him one of the best in-ring performers still in the world at that point. So to see him go, I think it's like, oh, wow. Like, they actually did it. And I think that emotion mixed with how the whole story started, I think that's what gives it the slight edge. But don't get me wrong. When Triple H and them went at it, I didn't think Triple H was winning the first one. But that second one, I was like, he got to get it here, right? Like they gotta get it here, right? So,
and I for sure I agree with everything you said. I'm not disagreeing, taking nothing away. I do think a lot of what you said does play. It does kind of help more so Triple H's case, only because of the fact that so many people recognize Shawn Michaels as the greatest, arguably of all time greatest in the world, type thing. So if it was like, if The Undertaker can beat this man twice, who's arguably the greatest of all time at this juncture in time, what can Triple H do? And people wasn't looking at Triple H, he was some bum. It was just the simple fact that he just be arguably the greatest of all time. So what can his best friend bring to the table that we've already seen him bring that's different this time around? So now that you have that, that specific factor into it, I think a lot of people were already kind of thinking about, okay, well, he's going to retire the other best friend. If he retired one best friend, he's clearly going to do the same thing to the other one. But on the flip side, it was, that best friend damn near retired the Undertaker, making him, had to get pulled out on a stretcher type thing. And so it was like that whole flip, like that 180 flip in story where this happened here, but this happened here, I think helped Triple H's case just a little bit more.
Malik, you good?
Yeah, I'm eating, bro. I'm hungry.
Oh, my fault.
You guys brought up some good points. I'm still listening. I'm listening too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Team Triple H got that one, bro. I think they had me sold in the beginning with Menace. He brought up a lot of good points about, the story where Triple H, beat the Undertaker, but Undertaker felt like he didn't win anything. You know what I mean? Because he didn't leave, WrestleMania under his own power. So Undertaker was the one who wanted to fight Triple H and put up the streak again when he really didn't have to, and Triple H didn't want to do it because he was now in a position of power where he didn't want to lose the Undertaker, because in his mind he had to do, what he felt like he had to do, and that was end the Undertaker. And Menace also brought up a good point at WrestleMania, where Undertaker was doing pretty much everything he could to stay in it, and Triple H was beating that man down time and time again. He kept getting back up time and time again, and I think Team Triple H brought up more good points of why they thought the Triple H storyline was the better one. So I'm going to give that to them. So you guys have one more. We have the heartbreaking loss between Drew and Cody, so you guys can decide what G and Jade are going to defend, either Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes.
Which do you feel you'd be easier arguing like for?
So this is we're just talking about heartbreak, right? Are we talking about like the story and everything that followed?
However you want to do it, bro. It's up to you. You got to convince me.
You can talk. That's what's getting me because I don't know if you want to break it down heartbreaking to us or heartbreaking.
You can talk about. You can talk about. I mean, you can combine it to be both. You can talk about why it was heartbreaking to you and for the fans aspect. Why this could have been the right moment for Drew because it's in the UK. Why this could have been the right moment for Cody because it's his first big main event. Like however you want to break it down.
I feel like Cody might be easier to argue.
Yeah. I feel like overall you can bring in a lot of elements for Cody. Because you said you can do the story too, right? Like everything that follow, like everything that surrounded. I feel like Cody's gonna be easier.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you guys, G and Jade, you guys have Drew McIntyre. You'll defend. Why was Drew the more heartbreaking loss, and why was, if you want to say, the right moment for him to win and to achieve that? Because you could talk about Drew's story too, how he won the title. Nobody was there, when it happened and everything. So, however you want to break it down and, bring the factors into it. So,
Jade, if you don't mind, I'd like to start off with this one. I'm not going to take too much. It's not going to be the other one, but.
Well, I took almost the entire time last time.
I can't. Your time starts. Your time starts now.
So the reason why I think Drew's heartbreaking loss was more heartbreaking than let's say Cody's. Because with Cody, we had the, finish the story. His dad never won a world title, so you had that. But the way he lost was pretty much predictable. Or not predictable. Let me rephrase that. It was the same old thing. It was, the bloodline, how they cheat and all that. When we got to Drew in Cardiff and Wales, as we remember, the Usos were not going to be there. I think was because of the DUI Jimmy had. But the Usos had pretty much established on that SmackDown before, we're not going to be at this show. And we saw Karrion Kross there because he was trying to start some stuff, but he was there for like the first part and then wasn't to be seen again. So we thought this was genuinely going to be a one-on-one match. And you had the crowd going. We thought, hey, this could be the moment. This has been the first moment we thought he could lose in a long time. I can't even remember the last time we thought Roman wasn't walking out retaining. At that point, this was the first time in a long time we all thought he was going to lose, right? When you had the Cody stuff, you had the Sammy stuff right a month right before. You know what I mean? This is the first time we actually thought Roman could lose. The reason why I feel it was more heartbreaking is because it had the biggest surprise compared to Cody's, the surprise ending. And it was more of a shock factor ending. When Solo hit Cody with the Samoan spot, we were kind of like, is it like, oh, wow, they're actually going to. But, like, of course, Solo cost it. Duh. When Solo debuted at Clash, though, because, mind you, he was just on NXT talking about this North American Championship. We knew eventually he was going to come up. We didn't think it was happening there. There were no reports, nothing. He showed up and pulled that ref out. Some of the crowd didn't even know what happened. Some of the crowd thought they counted to 3. That's why I think that was more heartbreaking, in my opinion, because of the shock factor and the unexpected debut. Because the other 2 Usos aren't there, we're assuming one-on-one. Boom, Solo shows up, and it's like, of course. Because I think Sammy was still trying to get in with the bloodline, but he wasn't even there for that. I think those were the beginning stages of Sammy too. The pulling the ref out, nobody saw it coming. Nobody thought they would interfere. We thought the bloodline was gone. And then Solo shows up. That was so heartbreaking to see because it was like, dang, finally have Roman one-on-one. Drew had all the momentum in his hometown. Boom. So, go ahead, Jay.
I mean, do you guys remember that entrance at Clash at the Castle? Oh, my God. Like when his old theme music hit, and we saw the highlight of his career up to that point, and then the swords unsheath, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers. That setup, there could not have been a more perfect setup. You can talk about your Sami Zayns and your Cody Rhodes, but all the way across the country, and we all thought there's no way they go all the way around the world to Cardiff, Wales, and don't give this crowd something. And we all thought the biggest thing they could do at the time was Drew McIntyre, because, guys, it's easy right now to sit and say, oh, Roman was never going to lose that title. But I want you to try and take your minds back to the summer of 2021, right? This was a long time ago now. And I don't think any of us at that time, at that particular moment, had any idea what we were in for with a Roman Reigns title run. I think we were all just kind of waiting to see when it was going to end. So it's easy to sit here now and say, oh, I wasn't heartbroken by Drew losing because I never thought Roman was going to win. Yeah, I don't believe it for a minute. I think all of us at that time, at that particular moment, back in 2021 in Cardiff, all of us had some small part of us that believed that Drew was going to get that hero's reception, that Drew was going to get that culminating win in his home turf. Sheamus was going to come out and put him on his shoulders, and he was going to ride off into the sunset as the man who slayed the tribal chief in front of everyone who's ever called him friend and family in Cardiff, Wales. And then it didn't happen. And Drew's face as he's sitting there bewildered. And I think the reason why, to me, it was more heartbreaking is because we didn't see it coming, like G said. By the time that we had all those fucking shenanigans with the Usos and with Solo and with Paul Heyman, I was just pissed off. I was done with it at that point. I wasn't sad that Cody had lost. I was just pissed off that here they go again. But back at the time, remember, like he said, the Usos weren't there. We weren't really used to the tribal chief winning yet. We were waiting for that title reign to end any moment now.
All right, got to make a final statement.
And then Drew's face, final statement. If you want to ask about what was more heartbreaking, go back and rewatch the entry for Drew McIntyre in that match, and then look at his face after it was over as he realizes that every dream he's ever had is gone. It sucked. It sucked as a fan. It sucked for Drew. It sucked for everybody. It just sucked.
All right. Team Cody, you guys are up.
All right. So you talk about, you want to talk about heartbreak. First of all, I got to get this out the way. Yes, it was in front of nobody, but Drew already had his world title reign. Twice. Mind you, twice. Cody, outside of Ring of Honor and somewhere else, never won a world title. Not even in AEW. He had this whole storyline. He had Stardust. He started his own promotion, got booed out of his own promotion, came back, tore his pec, wrestled Hell in a Cell through it, came back at the Royal Rumble, talked about his father. This dude cried every week. You want to talk about entrances. This man hugged. Bro, he went to Brody Lee Jr. in his entrance and lost in front of Brody Lee, bro. How more maniacal can you get, bro? I don't care about your friends and bro. Brody Lee Jr., bro, that's tough. And he had his weight belt, had all the companies that he did independence work for. Like, he was like, all right, this is his time. This is his time. It's finally, he's gonna finish the story, and it did not happen. And you want to talk about Solo coming out? I felt like when Solo came out Clash of the Castle, it was like that's how they do it. Because I feel like in the back of everyone's mind, it was like, I don't think they're going to really pull the trigger right now. It's just a matter of how they're going to do it. Like, okay, Uso's not here. Sammy's not here. Low blow, title, something. They're going to do something. Okay, Austin Theory going to mess this up. Oh, okay. Oh, Solo. That's how they do it. They got Solo on it. And so I think Cody's is more heartbreaking because Cody never won a world title in WWE, never won a world title in AEW. And the fact you just knew, it's like, damn, we got another year with Roman. We got an entire year with Roman as champion. And still, even to this day, you still got people thinking Cody's not going to finish the story. Again, that's how much damage and how heartbreaking that loss was for Cody Rhodes. You still got people saying, nah, he going to beat Hogan's record. Like, nah, bro. Like, that. The moment, I can't tell you, bro. I was watching WrestleMania with my brother, bro. I literally, I sat there for 5 minutes. Bro, this G-Baby, bro. After the show, this man didn't stop. This man was just... We was heartbroken, man. Everybody was heartbroken. You see that viral video of that one guy in the WrestleMania crowd when the pyro's going off? He's in the crowd. He's yelling at Roman. He's all heartbroken. Yeah, Drew McIntyre's was sad, but we all knew. At that point, you was like, all right, Cody got it at WrestleMania. They're doing this for Cody. Cody's going to come back and beat Roman. And then he didn't do it. And I was like, all right. Heartbroken. That's my statement.
I feel like for me, the reason why Cody's is way more sour than Drew was because, kind of piggybacking a little off what he said, we were ready to see like the finish of the redemption story of Cody Rhodes. We knew that he was someone that came from being a mid-carder. He had just a abysmal nothing, fodder-ass gimmick, Stardust. Okay, that clearly wasn't nothing. But he starts his own company. Okay, he's making some of himself. He flourishes a little bit in that very company, but even though he doesn't win the world title, he doesn't really need to because of the presence that he built up. All right. Now he returns back to WWE, and he's now a big star. He's what I guess people want him to be back, years ago. Okay, cool. So now he has that specific aura about him that people want to see Cody Rhodes succeed. They want to see him do what he didn't do, 5-6 years ago. Now he wins the Royal Rumble. Things are finally starting to go right for Cody Rhodes, man. This is gonna be Cody Rhodes' time. But then he ends up losing, and it's like, no way y'all just had this man lose at WrestleMania. The same way y'all have Roman beat any other typical guy with just solo interference. It was the fact that they were really making us feel and believe by having Roman talk about, have you ever even won that one? Have you competed for this one right here? Like just rubbing in the face that Cody has never competed for a WWE title. So making us believe he is actually going to beat Roman. Because at that point, I think he was champ for 2 years. So there is no way people believe he was going to be champion for 3 whole years. Then when he loses, it's like, dog, ain't no way Cody Rhodes is about to go through this again. Like Cody Rhodes is about to go through a whole nother slump where he is close to getting, something going, and then just is at the bottom of the barrel again. And then just seeing the look of just on Cody Rhodes' face as like he understands, yeah, I'm going to have to go through this all over again to get back to the top. That's why, for me, I think Cody is slightly sadder than Roman. Than Drew, my bad.
All right, if you guys have some rebuttals, if you guys something you want to point out.
Yeah, I always worry when we're having conversations like this, and I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but these things happen so far apart, right? And I feel like
and to correct you earlier, Drew was in 2022, not 2021. So, Clash of the Cast.
Okay, granted. But still, there's still the issue of recency bias. And the thing with Drew, too, is that Cody came out the very next night on Raw and prophesized, you're going to lose everybody and I'm going to be right there and da-da-da-da-da. And kind of made it obvious that title was still coming to Cody. Now, granted, now with the fucking Rock and CM Punk and fucking everything up, who knows what's going to happen. But at least right after we had this feeling that Cody Rhodes was still destined to win that title. And then Drew goes to his home country, loses in front of all of his family and friends, doesn't capitalize on his comeback story, and then basically falls back down to the bottom of the ladder. And I'm talking in story and out of story, where none of us are deaf or dumb. We know about the reports, right? We know where Drew McIntyre's head was at. We know what his thinking was there for a long time, and he was off TV for a long time. And we saw how he was booked, and we saw that he was just in a go-nowhere feud with Karrion Kross and a go-nowhere feud with whoever else. I don't even remember. But to be able to see that Cody maybe still has a chance, and okay, he's still working Roman, and he's still doing all this stuff, and then Drew loses in front of everyone he's ever loved and then falls back down to the bottom of the ladder for it because Solo Sikoa decided he wanted to be big time, it's just so disappointing. So disappointing.
Well, I will rebuttal that. What I said earlier, man, Drew McIntyre. Think about Drew. He had his world title run. Yeah, he didn't have it in front of nobody. But we act like Drew didn't have a chance to win the world title in front of anybody. Like he wasn't feuding with Bobby Lashley once they got back in front of the fans. He had a chance to win that world title at WrestleMania. He just came up short. Cody had one opportunity at WrestleMania, and it was after Roman beat Drew, which makes it more heartbreaking because you're like, okay, he beat Drew. They're setting this up for Cody. They're setting this up for Mania. If it's not The Rock, they're setting it up for Mania. Mania is the time. and Cody wins the Rumble. Oh, great. Rock's not coming back. This is Cody's time. They done sacrifice Drew. Awesome. Cody loses. Like, oh my God, we got to go through all this again, all this setbacks. Cody's never won a world title in front of tens of thousands of people. He's never had the confetti come down, raising the world title. He's never had that. He's never closed out a WrestleMania, period. Never closed out a WrestleMania with the world title. He's like, damn, Drew did that already. And Drew had his chance. He could have won it at 37. He did it. He's a two-time world champion. He could have won a world championship at 37. And the fact that they didn't do it, the fact that we have to go through all this again, and the fact that people even that it scarred people so much. The fact that people think that Cody's still going to lose if he even faces Roman at WrestleMania, which now with The Rock coming back, it seems it's more heartbreaking.
I would just say that we've had people on this panel say before on our shows that wrestling isn't wrestling without the fans, right? And yet now we're saying with or without fans, Drew had his moment. He didn't need this moment. Are you kidding me?
He won a world championship.
We're comparing a win in front of nobody and then a win in front of TV screens.
Well, he won
that. To a win in front of 50,000 people.
If Cody would have won it, it would have been for his father, and he would have had the title that Dusty never had. So the crowd wouldn't really matter. It'd be the fact that Cody had the title. It would be, and that's
if Cody won the world title in front of nobody. It would not be the same. Come on now. It would not be the same.
And that's why it's heartbreaking, because he was doing it for his father, and the fact that he couldn't do it for his father. Drew McIntyre, he won the damn title. Yeah, it was in front of nobody. Like I said, he had another shot. You could have pulled the trigger at WrestleMania 37. Cody didn't get another shot, which makes it even more heartbreaking. And the fact that now The Rock might come back and take his spot and Cody might not get that opportunity makes it even more heartbreaking. Drew McIntyre, you had your chance. You could have pulled it before Roman, but they decided they wanted to go with Bobby.
Somebody remind me, and I'm going somewhere with this. Where's Cody from? It's Atlanta, right?
Georgia. He's from Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Can you imagine if WrestleMania last year had been in Atlanta? Can you imagine Cody's face if that had been Brody Lee and all that stuff? Yeah, but if that had been in Atlanta, Drew was in front of everybody. He had the hopes and the pride of 50,000 people on his shoulders.
And Cody had the hopes and prides of his father, Dusty Rhodes.
But also, too, another aspect
of the Rhodes family.
I think another
his dead father.
Another aspect that I think we're forgetting is, remember, we knew the bloodline was going to be there in some way, shape, or form. We knew how it worked. In Cardiff, we thought there was none. We thought, yes, finally, a one-on-one match. Roman gotta lose here now because the bloodline ain't there to save him. Boom, Solo. The shock factor, I think, is what we're forgetting. Not just the win itself, but why they lost and how they lost. Him losing to Solo after he got banned from ringside, even though you could question how stupid that was. We knew the bloodline was gonna be there regardless. So Solo costed Cody. He had already been established. Where did he get established? In a shock debut, no one saw coming in Cardiff. That, to me, is why it's more heartbroken, because they had set up the Usos ain't gonna be there. It's one-on-one. We knew the bloodline was going to interfere in Mania. We knew we was getting the works. We was getting the rev bumps and everything. That's what.
But I feel like that, right? I didn't mean to cut you. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I feel like that is exactly why it might make Cody's even more heartbreaking, because of the fact that we already kind of had that idea about, are they going to really have the bloodline cheat for this man again for Cody Rhodes at Mania after he was basically, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Roman, a lot of the storyline with Roman was just pretty much him talking about just yeah, Cody, you ain't got no reason to even be in the same arena as me, let alone competing for my titles. So at that point, it was why would you need the bloodline after continuously letting Cody know that you so much better than him? He don't deserve to, to wrestle for these titles. You ain't nothing, yada yada. So then the fact that Solo ends up getting thrown out, and we just for maybe it was 10-15 minutes, I actually believe after 2 back-to-back crossroads, this is gonna put this man down. And then here comes Solo, and you just get hit with the meanest come the fuck on of all time. That right there, I think, is why it's heartbreaking, because of the fact that you knew the blood was gonna get involved, But when they got sent away, it was like, okay, right here. This is when it's gonna happen right now. Just for them to get involved again for the same heartbreak feel to happen once again.
Okay, but what you just said, and this will be the last thing I say. What you just said, when they sent them away, you were like, okay, it's 1-on-1. Oh, they're back. The entire match in Cardiff was 1-on-1. They set it up to SmackDown before.
No,
1-on-1, no Usos, and then a boom shock debut.
Yeah, I gotta bring this. I gotta bring this up, bro. This man, Paul Heyman, weeks before this WrestleMania, said that Roman Reigns was the son Dusty Rhodes wanted, always wanted, and Cody couldn't get his lick back from that, bro, and he still lost. I don't remember Paul Heyman saying nothing about Drew McIntyre's mom, his dad, nothing.
I mean, they did say they were gonna beat him in front of his family.
His family, but hey, the family that was mentioned is the family that was still there. Cody got packed up when they disrespected his father, bro. That's heartbreaking, bro. That's tough. That's tough.
All right, y'all brought up some good appealing arguments. I'm not gonna lie. I think what sold it for me was for Team Cody was when Nate said that Drew could have had his other opportunities, WrestleMania against Bobby Lashley, and he fought Big E at Crown Jewel as well for the WWE title, and he lost too. So
he did.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that match.
Wait, Drew McIntyre and Big E fought for the title?
Yeah, Crown Jewel.
Forgot about that match.
Yeah,
as both baby faces?
Yeah. For the WWE title.
I remember now.
Remember that.
I remember now. But yeah.
So Drew, that's what sold it for me. Drew had his opportunities to win it in front of the big crowd. You know what I mean? He had Bobby Lashley, and then he also had Big E at Crown Jewel, which he could have won. So I'm gonna give the edge to Team Cody. Since Jay's gonna hop off here in a little bit, we'll just do a little to end it off. I'll just let you guys do a 3-way debate. No homo.
Oh shit.
I'll let you guys do a 3-way. You guys can. The last topic is what was. Just want to make sure I'm clear. The worst booking decision WWE has done in the last 10 years. So whatever you want to say.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought it was something else.
When we say last 10 years, I'm assuming we're talking from
2014
January 14, 2014.
Damn, I gotta think about this.
Oh nah, bro.
There's been some bad ones.
You only can pick one, bro. You only can pick one.
So how do we decide who gets to go first, though?
I gotta think in the wheel. I won't go first. I got.
What does go in the order? What does go from G to Menace to Snake?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm trying to make sure because there's one that I could easily go with, but I'm trying to make sure there isn't any other despicable ones that I'm thinking of.
Oh my god!
Worst booking is basically off worst booking decision that not only pissed you off, but maybe could have hurt somebody's career still to this day. Maybe could have looked back and been like, it's still.
Okay, I think I got mine locked down. It might not be the worst, but it's damn.
Hold on. Let me make sure I got my dates right. Hold up. Let me make sure I got the years.
Tell me what it is. I'll tell you what I know what year it is.
It's just I don't know if I want to go with it yet, but when was the second Mania between Brock and Roman? The worst one.
2018.
The one where Roman kicked out 6 F5s?
2018.
Yeah, the super bloody one. Yeah. Was that 2018?
2018.
Okay, I just need to make sure. You know what? Nah, this one because that one was bad, but I think the worst booking decision for me, it's got to be Hell in a Cell 2019. That right. To me,
you got 5 minutes to go on your rant, bro.
Oh, I don't need 5, but I'll take as much as I can get. That Hell in a Cell 2019, bro, killed Seth Rollins as a character. The Fiend killed him immediately when he won the title. The next pay-per-view, it did not feel the same. First of all, he should have never been in the title picture to begin with. But fine, you put him in there. He was making you a lot of money. It's a Hell in the Cell match. No DQ. No disqualification. No countouts. You can't even escape the cage and you don't lose. The whole purpose is to be anything goes. You must win by pinfall or submission. And the ref knowing good and well you are in a Hell in a Cell, no DQ. They talk about this. They, even in kayfabe, they go to each opponent and let them know these are the rules. You can do whatever you did. And you thought Seth Rollins took it too far because he put some ladders, he put some chairs, and a toolbox. And a toolbox on top of him, and then slammed it with a sledgehammer. And then y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. After everything was over, did the Fiend not sit up or pop up or disappear or something like that?
He attacked Seth Rollins and then he made him bleed in it, like with the mouth and stuff. Like he.
So clearly he was fine. And not only was he fine, you know how long it took for Seth Rollins to fight? Like, bro, I know the Fiend took a nap. I know Bray Wyatt took a nap just laying there. Because that is the worst booking decision ever. How do you end a no disqualification match in a no contest? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. That to me is the worst, because, and it's also because of the ramifications. The Fiend, even though people still loved him, he was not the same after that. Seth Rollins became this whole, granted, he made it work, but Seth Rollins was already kind of losing steam as a babyface anyway. After that, done. Like, he could not be a babyface anymore. This is around the same time Seth Rollins is basically shitting on Will Ospreay and the boys and all that. And then so he's already kind of getting to that, and then he's doing that, killed him as a character. We know Seth Rollins said in the interview that's not the vision they wanted. So it's not his fault, but it killed him as a character. Now, we got something good out of it. We got Monday Night Messiah, which is fine. But it shouldn't, like, yes, you made something out of what they say, you made chicken salad out of chicken shit. But nevertheless, we're not going to ignore that it was chicken shit. That is the worst. This was in the dark age of WWE before we got to COVID. The worst booking decision of the last 10 years.
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie to that. Menace, what's yours, man? You got
so
5 minutes to go ham.
That's a W argument, man. For me, aside from that one, I'm picking Shinsuke Nakamura losing to AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That quite literally killed everything that Shinsuke Nakamura was. Not only was he arguably top 3 most over superstar in general, regardless of it being main roster or NXT, the charisma that he had people believing, okay, this man right here is going to be like, he's the next top guy that's going to carry this generation. I mean, just the way that Shinsuke was presented, I mean, he was essentially feeling like a larger-than-life being. Man, him winning the Royal Rumble to this day for me is one of my favorite Rumble wins because that was when he faced Roman Reigns in the final 2. So it was that's when it was anybody but Roman. And the fact that it was Shinsuke going against Roman made that win even more important for Shinsuke Nakamura. I was like, okay, this man, he's the top guy. Not the fact that, obviously he's, a Japanese-born wrestler that they push as the top guy, but it's the fact that he's someone that the people truly love and they want to see. But then he loses at WrestleMania to AJ Styles, and then he turns heel. That heel run literally did nothing of relevancy for Shinsuke Nakamura. They proceeded to have a 3.5, 4 month long feud where he loses once, twice, and then 3 times, and then proceeds to do really nothing after that heel run. There was literally no reason why Shinsuke needed to lose, let alone turn heel, because they did nothing with that loss. And then you can even see now, he's never recovered from that. He went on like a 3-year stretch where that man felt like he was just fodder. And that was blasphemous to think about Shinsuke Nakamura being a fodder superstar. Come on, now that we ain't talking about that. But that was real life. That was what happened. It all stemmed from him losing to AJ Styles. And I get, they like later on, like he kind of got somewhat relevant with the Intercontinental title, but it wasn't what he was. He wasn't, the king of strong style. He wasn't that larger than life superstar feel. And even currently right now, what I'm saying? He's had a few with Cody Rhodes. That's, it was cool. What I'm saying? It was cool, but it wasn't Shinsuke Nakamura. What I'm saying? Like, I feel like that loss drop Shinsuke down the way that he can truly never recover from. And I think that is one of the single worst losses that we've seen that made a superstar just plummet. And you can clearly see that he's never risen from that. So I'm gonna go with Shinsuke losing at WrestleMania to AJ.
That's another good one right there. Nate.
Oh man, you guys have great arguments. But I'm not talking about one superstar. I'm not talking about two, not three, not four. I'm talking about 5 superstars. In this booking decision, they didn't even have a chance. I am talking about the literal worst faction in WWE history. Retribution. First of all, let me talk about the names. Not Mustafa Ali, thankfully, got to keep his name. Let me run down the names. Mace, Slapjack, T-Bar, Reckoning, and thank God Retaliation was there for like one night and she left. Mercedes Martinez. How are you going to build stars? How is T-Bar going to be a believable champion, main eventer? How is Slapjack going to be a threat? This group was destined to fail from the moment they were unveiled as T-Bar, Slap, Mace, whatever. Oh my God! Like it was cool at first because it's like okay, like they're rioting. Oh, they're like breaking in the performance center. Okay, this is all right. Let's see what we got. And then they came out with these stupid masks. They had their first match against the Hurt Business and they lost. And then Mia Yim, who was Reckoning, her mask fell off and she was having a seizure. I don't know what was happening with this whole story. It didn't literally off the ground. Like it didn't even have a chance. Like you just took 5 people at the time, 4. You took 4 people who you could have built like Dijak. Like you know how long it took Dijak to actually get back to what he was in Black and Gold after T-Bar? This man shaved his head just to be in this group, just to fit this character. Slapjack didn't even have a chance. He got released. Mia Yim, she got released. Like this Mace turned into Maximum Elvados, wasn't doing anything for the longest time. They didn't even have a chance. At least Shinsuke went on to win Intercontinental Championship. At least Seth Rollins turned into the Messiah. At least Bray Wyatt was still over with the crowds. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have a chance. Like from the jump, bro, it was over. And then they put Mustafa Ali in there, and it was like, okay, maybe there's something. It was nothing. You know how long it took Ali to get? He had to literally go to NXT to get that back, and then he got released anyway. And now we're just now Mustafa Ali's finally getting he's finally getting that push. He's finally becoming what he should have been in WWE. But that has to be literally the worst thing WWE's done in the past 10 years. It helped nobody. They had one pay-per-view match, and it was versus Bobby Lashley, and Slapjack got slapped. You had Slapjack challenging for the United States Championship. This group was doomed from the start. It has no.
Didn't T-Bar and the other guy, didn't they get a tag team title shot one time?
I think that it wasn't on pay-per-view. It wasn't on pay-per-view. It wasn't on pay-per-view.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was some dark times.
There's no upside. I'm saying there's no upside to this story. There's literally no upside to this story.
You know where I thought you were gonna go, Nate? I thought you were gonna go Kofi 8 seconds. That's where I thought you were going.
I was gonna go at first, but that's too easy. That's too easy. At least Kofi is still around and still has. And
he never really lost anything from it. It was just unfortunate.
It was just unfortunate.
It was unfortunately, but there's no upside to Retribution.
I guarantee if they would have given Kofi at bare minimum a 10-minute match, just have him go out there and clearly try to win, knowing that he's probably gonna lose. I feel like people would be like, "Damn, Kofi lost," but no one would nearly have cared that much.
You know what's crazy? I'll never forget that night because after they announced the title, they went to commercial. So let's say the show started at 7. They went to commercial at 8:52, and I was like. I was like, is there an overrun or something? Why are you going to commercial at 8:52? They came back, it was 8:56. I'm like,
yep, 8:56. I was
like, are they really gonna do that? I swear on everything, I thought someone was debuting. I was like, there's gotta be a debut.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah,
Cain Velasquez.
That show was Cain Velasquez. Yeah.
I totally forgot. Okay, So you know what I thought? I thought Cain Velasquez was going to debut
man.
to keep the match from happening.
No,
And
I
then
thought
Cain Velasquez came in, had one match, looked like trash, and we ain't seen that man again.
I honestly thought the match wasn't gonna happen. I thought like, okay, somebody's gonna interfere because Brock don't wrestle on TV shows. I'm like, something's gonna happen. But when that squad, when that bell rung, and he immediately hit it, and when Kofi jumped and he caught him in the F5, I knew it.
Yeah,
I
it
said,
was GG's.
I
Like,
said,
I remember
oh
it
my
still
god,
this
Bro,
way.
I was dead. I was like, no, they
because I remember
no,
even
they
talking to
didn't.
my homies about it. We was all like, yeah, Kobe's gonna lose, but we obviously was like, it's gonna be a few minutes. I swear on everything, I was on my phone just like this, right? The bell rang, I looked up, and he's caught in the F5, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then Matt gone, just gone.
Match done,
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I get at that time Vince was running everything in his, but like, there's no way people was back there like, yeah, Vince, that's a great idea. Like, there's no way, bro.
Nah, absolutely not.
Those are one of those decisions. Those are one of those decisions where I've refused to believe in my heart that everybody and their mama wasn't telling him not to do it, and he said,
yeah. You know what his excuse probably was gonna be? It was probably TV time. That's what he's gonna say. Well, we need to
TV time. Like literally, you just went to commercial.
What else happened?
You guys can control the commercial.
What else happened on that show? I'm pretty sure there was a stupid match you could have cut.
No, the opening segment I know was Becky Lynch, The Rock, and Baron Corbin. So that opened the show.
It was that.
That's fine.
And they had a ladder match on there.
And Shane and Kevin Owens to the ladder match.
Yeah, it was like a 6-man tag.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to sound rude, but like around this time, I don't know for sure, but like knowing how WWE is, there's a women's match you probably could have cut. There's a women's segment you probably could have cut.
Bro, they could have put Shane and KO on the pay-per-view or something, man. You could have had that on the pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, honestly.
Could have pushed it over to the pay-per-view. Like, the squash was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
That was disrespectful.
That was sickening, bro. All right, fellas. Well,
you're Mike.
You're on mute.
My fault. I got you. Hit the mute button. Next week we're going to do the spin the wheel draft that we had planned. We had some episodes planned for the PC, and then everything happened. So we're just gonna do the episodes that we already had planned. We're gonna do the spin the wheel draft, and then we're gonna do the Royal Rumble recap after that.
Sir,
when I play these short
Saturday, right?
Yeah. When I play these short clips, are they like choppy to y'all on y'all end, or like they play like
on my end? They're perfectly fine. I don't know about that, but
my end they're a little out of sync. But it might be my laptop.
No, because it's a little laggy on my end. But I don't know when I play them. I didn't know if it was like how they looked to you guys. So that's why I was asking. Like, G, you said it's fine on your end. Like it plays like the whole.
Yeah, mine it played the whole time. No issues. No nothing. So.
Nate, what about you? You said it was a little
laggy on my end, but it might be my laptop. So.
What about you, Menace?
No, it's good on mine.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna end it off with this one, and then we're gonna end it off. But spin the wheel draft next week, and then like I say, Royal Rumble recap. It's gonna be a lot to talk about leading up to WrestleMania. Thank you guys for coming through, and this is how we're gonna end it off, man. This is how we're gonna end it off. We usually end it off with Omos, but today I thought it would be more funnier to do this, so this is how we're gonna do it, bro.
Surface the coach.
Quiet as the Ultimate Warrior speaks.
Should I jump off the tallest building in the world? Should I lay on the lawn and let him run over me with lawnmowers? Should I go to Africa and let him trample me with raging elephants? Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel, loaded with the warriors. In my final meeting with the gods from the heavens above, as they spoke to me, dig your claws into my organs, stretch into my tendons, bury your anchors into my bones, for the power of the warrior will always prevail. Come on in, where nightmares are the best part of my day. I live for anger and frustration. Combat is where we'll be. That the Ultimate Warrior is totally out of control.
Oh,
man.
That Ultimate Warrior, man.
Crack was a hell of a drug. Yo, hey, before we get off air, shout out, and I'm going to say this again. Shout out El Paso, Texas legend Aaron Jones picking on these Cowboys. Boy, that's what I'm talking about, Aaron Jones. El Paso legend. Making them, because for those of you who ain't been to Texas, El Paso, Texas, pretty much everybody there are Cowboy fans. Oh, Aaron Jones, born and raised in El Paso, Texas, went to UTEP, in El Paso, Texas, right? UTEP in El Paso, for those of you who don't know. He is playing the Cowboys right now and dicking on them. Hell yeah, boy.
Yeah, 34-10.
Yes, bro. Dicking on these niggas,
This
man.
is all I've
Stop
been
playing
waiting
with
for the
these
whole
niggas.
season. I've been waiting for this the whole season for these Cowboys to do exactly what they do every year.
Bro, I've been telling people, I've been saying, everybody was hyped about the Cowboys. Oh, Dak should be MVP. I'm like, this is all fine and dandy.
They said it every year.
In September,
It takes-
October, and
bro,
November.
Thank
But then
you.
once December and January come, all of a sudden, they do what they do best. They sell when it matters most. And it ain't even always that fault, but it's just the Dallas Cowboys. It's who they are. And
That
when
is just
people
who they
pressed
are.
me about it, I was so confused. I'm like, guys, this happens every year. Like, I get Stephen A. He made it a meme. But at some point, when it happens year after year after year after year after year, eventually,
They got
you
too much
got
faith,
sometimes people worry too much about how things are being said and how you're talking to them, as opposed to the message that's actually coming out your mouth. So many times people only care about how you say it to them. No, sometimes just listen to what's being said. This is what they do, bro. 33-10 to a team that barely clinched the playoffs last week. They wasn't even in playoff contention like 2 weeks ago. They
Facts.
barely clinched it last week, and they needed a bunch of help to do it.
What the Cowboys need, they need C.J. Stroud, man. He on the wrong team, man. He on the wrong Texas team, bro. They need that boy C.J. Stroud.
Hey, give
All
that
right.
boy the MVP for real.
C.J. Stroud is him, man. C.J. Stroud is him, man. C.J. Stroud is him. The Ultimate Warrior promos is crazy, bro. He said, dig into my organs, bro. I said, what? Excuse me, bro. Like, dig into my organs, bro. Now we're going to enough of this. I tell you, we're going enough of this one, but this is the last one I'm going to play, and then we out here.
Nigga, 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 nigga.